Stage Street 1. In the Minute Homei Museum. Acting Curator Rain 8 and Deputy Curator Me. Today Katie Curator waiting for a distinguished guest Basha's daughter Pepe. Pepe came to borrow the museum's prize exhibit, The Nameless General. Unbeknownst to her, the sand thief Narantoya also followed her into the city. The lamp was lifted higher, and I needed to take the lights on the exhibit's perfectly shining every detail.
Okay, Curator and Lady.
Who placed the singing female chest in the statue group of the ancient calendar and dark era? They are not in the era, and they are almost taken out and sent to the second exhibition hall.
You'll send it.
What about the recovery of the technique of making skills by the ancient calendar? Why didn't I see it on the booth? Not here at Tiba.
As in the distance, the water waves in the lotus pond pass through the footprint when you come, in the shade of the tree. I have prepared the sweet dates and mallow beer. Why don't you raise the toast together and celebrate the midsummer? Ah, Ms. Majadi KT, your singing is like a natural, lingering. Yeah, Ms. Majadi KT. The piano sound is just like flowing water, and it flows slowly.
Of course, in order to perfectly interpret this ancient ballad, I have worked hard for more than a month. Alas, you spoke one by one to wipe the honey on your mouth? And it was like applying oil to the soles of your feet. Tibu, you should know. This restoration instrument will be displayed tomorrow. Today. Let's use the welcome department. They mess. When a VIP comes, the museum always entertains well.
This is a special exhibition prepared for the drilling festival. Tibu, at present, our first task is to ensure that every link in the exhibition is not wrong. How picky is the person here? You should be clearer than me as an old employee.
Don't be crazy. The director of the museum. I know that you have to plan such an important exhibition as soon as you take office. It will inevitably be a little anxious. But believe me, enough. Just calm the mentality. No matter what we exhibit, someone will pick up. After all, in the city of Montihama, every family has some precious small private hiddenness. And it is normal for our exhibits to look down on our exhibits.
I want to check the new exhibits that debut tomorrow.
Rest assured, I will not disturb you to date with that man.
It is my research object, not a date.
It's so affectionate that you look at it. What time is this? Haven't those guys received people yet?
I guess. That girl is observing the operation of water conservancy facilities, so as to write a paper for urban water conservancy development. Perhaps she's inscription ISD, just to clean up the sludge on the stone monument in the river. Alas, what is the difference? All the guys who are engaged in history. I can only blame our city for a long time, and the historians of Salt for running our like to run here. Yeah, look at the ancient river channels of these 400 years, wide and wide. Looking at these 200 years of architecture, it is tall and large. What is a heavy historical heritage? Is it? So what can be compared to the man flies? It was a traditional festival since thousands of years ago. Oh, when the river is flooded, I will present the white flowers produced in the oasis for the gods in the river, and I hope that his nose is eternal fragrance. What did you prepare? Friends. Still according to the tradition of the family, the cups and dishes made by pure gold, and a pot of wine. That is the old wine that my grandfather was sealed into the dirt when my father was born. May he enjoy delicious food and share the lively atmosphere of festivals with us. May you and I can see him walking on the world with your own eyes and get his blessing, respecting the immortal Monad Hama. I hope you will live here forever.
Have you found it?
Wait a little. Just seem to feel it.
But you have been standing in the water for almost an hour, and every time you say it is about to touch it. Really? Where did the young lady go? Obviously. A special person was arranged outside each city gate, but no one had seen her in order to welcome you. I spent a lot of thoughts. How could it make you mix in silence? Miss, Majadi KT, where are you going to go like this? Oh, Mrs. Duckett. You are you. I am going to see an old friend. This is the sweet orange that I just picked from the yard. It was knotted in front of the drilling festival, and the taste would definitely conquer everyone's stomach. Take some friends for you. Majadi KT. Thank you for the guest who does not like to lead people. Lady,
See you.
people here are always so enthusiastic. Alas, let me think about where the guy went. When she was in school that year. Where did she like to run?
Oh, lady, I'm really sorry. I didn't see you. And the oranges that hurt you?
It okay. What about you? Nothing? Why did you suddenly frown? Where did you hurt?
Just now, there is a shadow passing by your forehead. This is not a good sign. It heralds that you will encounter bad luck. If you are willing to spend 5 TAUNAR, I can eliminate you in bad luck.
What? The lady. I hurried to the appointment and left first.
Etc. Why? Wait. The 2 Dana R can also do it. I don't lie to you. You will really lose weight.
You won't lie to me.
Rest assured, my sister, what I said, never countless.
Really?
Don't cry. I want 插上敌人. Let it run away again.
Well,
Don't cry. Don't cry. I just teased you. I actually caught it. Do see. Isn't it in my palm?
sister is bad. Your brother is so pitiful.
Where is the pitiful? That guy hasn't made me tricked me. All right. Give me the jar. I will help you put the scales into the jar.
I thought this golden scales could no longer be found. Thank you, sister.
Alas, I will take so hard to help you catch the scales. You just have such a volume and loud.
Thank you, sister. You are the most powerful.
Well, hurry up and go home. Don't think about it again. Learn now there's pets outside.
Diba?
Walking pet scales in the river. It turned out that I would do this kind of whimsical thing when I was a kid.
It.
Alas, it seems that I touched the scales in this water for so long. And finally someone cowed and stand it.
It turns out that you also know what I feel. Tapi,
Alas, I don't want to go to the museum so early. At that time, Inaf tangled me on Dastong to ask the West. And he would definitely not be free at all. Why are you the only one? Where is Inaf?
she, as the director of the agency, has a lot of things. Recently, she also encountered heavyweight exhibitions. And she was too busy.
Yes, I never thought that Inaf came as soon as he came. I remember when in the college, many people are not optimistic about her own character. I think she is serious and can definitely achieve a career. Don't talk about yourself. After staying in the city for so long, do not change it.
I am not busy or idle. And now I barely get the title of the deputy curator.
You were not in the museum in Colombia before?
I was in charge of the business operation there at that time. The environment here is different. The Museum of the Min Athamami does not need to make money. It relies on the support of the king in Paxie every year to run well. And I can't send it to the field. Very good. I am happy.
But you have never been idle.
And you? There must be a lot of gains during this journey. Then the report you want to do must be so hard to imagine.
Oops. No, it's hot. I feel a bit of heat stroke. I have to blow more blows here.
Little. How many times I used this excuse to ask you in the college that year.
Miss, you have been sitting here for a long time. The sun is so exposed. You need to have some drinks. The signature of this shop has a licorice juice, freshly squeezed, as long as 5 Narnayar, or apple rose eggplant tea, the Danar a cup.
Don't want?
Do you come to a cup of apricot juice? As long as 1 Narnayar.
I said, don't.
Wait, a waiter. Don't leave first. Give me a pot of your best coffee. Add cardamom cloves of local specialty products. Here's another glass of live fruit licorice juice to the lady. Please wait. Do. Ms. Do you come to Monte Hama to enjoy the Man Fang Festival? How can you not prepare sufficient budget? In this way, your travel experience will be greatly discounted, unintentionally offending. I always feel that everyone's consumption should meet their own income level. If the funds are insufficient, there are many other good places to choose on vacation. I heard that Bavarian Das Souls is good. The price is low. The scenery is beautiful. And it is suitable for
It sounds very reasonable. You are really knowledgeable.
You flatter me. And you, walking on the way to open up your own vision? Sir, your coffee. I'll put it there. Miss, your light fruit licorice juice.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Stunned. No, just surprised. The lady refused to spend money on drinks, but gave so many tips. Oh, it seems that I have hit the poor ghost who is dead. Forget it. Let me go out to find fun by myself. Orders, please, check out. A total of 15 dinar. Sir, gentlemen, why is my wallet gone?
I hope that the river takes away these gold-plated scrap iron, and hopes that they are picked up when the river rises. Waste the time. Almost let me lose my goal. I heard that. The glory of the brilliant city is everywhere, and there are countless warriors seeking unsuccessful treasures. As a result, I walked so far. When I came here, I kept encountering people who only care about a few gold coins.
A cloud of clouds floated, covering the light of the scorching sun. A red-haired woman poured the gold coins from the money sack, and a piece was thrown out. Immediately, she whistled and disappeared into the crowd.
The apricot juice of Bazaar is still so delicious, which is exactly the same as when he was in the college.
I guess you would come here. After the crowd transferred for a long time. I didn't see you, finally. I remembered that when I was in the college. The three of us came together. When you are alone, you always go.
The river. I always loved to go to the river by myself. However, you actually ran so many places to find me.
You are a guess. Peppy.
They are all friends. How to pay attention to this? Don't you have any embarrassing performances that make people welcomes me?
That all the gifts.
What's that? I heard the bad water in your stomach sounded.
What big discovery did you bring this time?
Hey,
Jim?
Sapphire bracelets, sapphire necklaces, sapphire earrings, a whole set of casual sets, as long as 2,000 dinar. Look at it. Do not pay for it without bargaining. As long as 2,000 don I'll take away. Customer friends, hello. This shop selects several drinks, and a whole box of buying to enjoy low-cost discounts. Guaranteed care, keeping it affordable. All of them have 15 carats. Buy back and send relatives to send friends. As long as for 500 dinar. Ruby sapphire gold green treasure. Amethyst pink crystal olive crystal. When you buy gems, come to Bazaar. Wholesale price every day. The low price is consistent.
Maynard Hama is rich in various gems. If it is just an ordinary gem, it is not enough.
hey. The gem I discovered is still a little extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
I recently bought a pink blue spar, claiming to be used to purify the water. The origin IUM circuit carved above is very fine. Like art.
It sounded very valuable. I also received a similar tourmaline last month, inlaid on the cane, which can greatly enhance the original and origin IUM skills. That not important. Alas, look.
Isn't this last year limited gem belt? Isn't the seller claiming that this belt can improve skin metabolism and slow down the speed of aging?
What do you feel when you wear it? I really feel that myself is refreshing.
Compared with the gems that are still circulating to Bazaar Eye, the one I discovered can have some rare features.
Where is rare? Even the origin IUM circuit gemstones that circulate in Dalgari are the existence that ordinary people are unable to see.
Let go first. Chidi.
What is the secret of people who can't see people?
Did not. Rest assured. It will definitely tell you. But, before the Hudson rises higher, I have to go to the Keemingstar Avenue to buy a statue of prayer. Due research also requires the blessing of the gods.
Then you have to go quickly. And the road will be hot in a while.
The goal is walking towards the museum in the center of the city. It can make the deputy curator of the local museum welcome in person. It seems that the news is right, and her identity is really unusual.
What? The gem you found is Shade religion.
I knew that I would not wear sandals with open toes. And I must have all the sandals on my feet.
Are you still thinking about sandals? Where did that gem found?
I found a clue and that was once called Schubert tells a lot. After many twists and turns, I finally found it in a king territory.
Old lions.
I also saw an ancient image left by Shah himself in a crystal hole. And the discovery of this road, I remember in this handwriting. It will reveal the real location of the plentiful treasure house to the world. proving that the promise of Shot a Nightmare was not a legend. Think about it. If we enter the treasure house, who will there be waiting for us? Regardless of the value geometry of the rare treasures. What is important is that the information it contains will restore the truth of the year. Shade will be answered one by one. Why did he make this seemingly crazy invitation to fight? And the truth about the world where I and Harlan do. Even his last whereabouts. This will be a shocking discovery. Even the City of Gold will look at me.
Since you know the location, just take people to discover directly. Just it.
No, still worse the last clue. I need to borrow a cultural relic of the museum.
You are Paxia's daughter, in addition to the publicly displayed cultural relics. The door of the museum warehouse is also open to you at any time.
This is the problem.
Slowly. Are you looking at it?
Peppy saw the outer wall of the museum, and the curtain was slowly unfolding. The curtain is painted with a corpse wearing a golden armor, the face is covered with masks, and his body is slender. At the bottom of the curtain, there was a line of big characters very eye-catching. The anniversary of the FI1, the Bad Museum anniversary.
No, he's the guardian of that treasure house.
No matter who it is the most valued exhibit surveyed now. I am afraid it is not easy to borrow.
I can only prove my ability to my father and His Majesty only by finding Shot Treasure House. It proves that I have the ability to enter the City of Gold and become the historian of His Majesty, describing the history of the entire Sargon.
Isn't the heir to be a Paxia happy?
Those walls and power are just the appearance of prosperity. The glory of each generation throughout our family is a historian position passed down from generation to generation.
But Peppy, isn't my uncle always the position of your brother as a historian?
I have all the quality of the line of quality. I will never lose to him.
Peppy, in 2 months, the messenger will lead your brother to the City of Gold.
Chiri, as long as you are willing to help me. Enath wants me to wait until the summer is over before I can lend the corpse to me to study. But this summer is my last chance. I can't wait so long.
The 2 of your sisters and brothers are really... I always fight when I was a child. And when I grew up, they had to compete for the same position. This is my pass. Take it. You can enter the exhibition hall to study secretly at night. Seeing that you are fighting for these years, I am also tired. Try it again for you. If in the end, if you still find nothing, don't stick to it anymore.
Won't. You won't get nothing.
Unexpectedly, Peppy said to himself. Ned Jetty KT. He slowly stood up and looked at the magnificent building that had gone through hundreds of years. The sun shines the garden with the building, and under the boundless blue sky, a huge trapezoid building stands. The tall palm trees on the side were blown by the wind, making the rustling leaves friction.
Although I saw it every day, I was still shocked by its momentum for so many years. It quietly stayed in the city, silently against time.
Yeah, in front of it. No matter how long a person's life is. In the blink of an eye. Just passed.
It would be fine if time can be set at a certain moment.
Well, how good it is.
See you tomorrow. At that time, you will say that the past is stolen by you.
Tomorrow, museum exhibition. Very good. The guest itinerary has been determined, and it will be entertaining. The glorious historian family heir. The venue of the king and the hero. The explorer of the footprints all over Salgan. The person who heard the news. The noble Paxi daughter. Jimipapip Shikhardship St. After changing other. Most of them will worry about so many people at once. But it is Nartoya who stands here. She will only regret these titles in the same person.
The ransom should be enough for me to pay off my debt. The remaining money in the wallet should be able to buy a ticket for tomorrow. The team is too long and the sun is just sunny. The gold coins in this city are too valuable.
And you swear to your golden sun. Brilliant gemstone in the big museum behind you. And you answer cautiously based on respect for history and civilization. Ask your own conscience and tell me, What is the ticket price of the museum? Let me talk about it again. The exhibition hall of non-S-Alien historical relics is free of votes. Only S-Alien related exhibition halls need to buy tickets to enter. Lady, the Minos exhibition hall is free of votes. Let me talk about it again. There is no Minos exhibition hall. Lady, but the Northeast Branch exhibition hall exhibits some Minos cultural relics you call from time to time. Northeast Branch? Tourists from foreign countries took a deep breath, and her exposed arm muscles bulged with her fist. The ticket seller subconsciously wanted to pull down the living wood board in the small window, but the tourist firmly held the wooden board in one hand. History is a long river that everyone on the earth. The origin IUM workshop in the ancient town of Tals Isa was excavated by the Gaul explorer, and the legendary scriptures of the ancient Tegemen ancient country were restored by Minos artisans. And Minos' own history is scattered in the yellows and against the river. And I just go back to this for a glance. Whether you recognize, the mission of a historian is to find the past where people forget. For this reason, to prevent the predators who have power, who are so arrogant. In other words, if you think that S.A. known history is worth paying for 100 dinar, Jolted men and OSB equal to it, you need a ticket. More importantly, the Seld people happen to stand on the predator. At this point, you are willing to adhere to your own conscience and face the value of the man OS cultural relics in the museum. Next person. Wait a moment. Name. Aspasian her IA. Please use Minos spelling method, not use Selgan.
Give me a ticket. Thank you.
Stage 1 beginning. Pei Pei sneaked into the museum at night after failing to borrow an exhibit. She placed a gem inside the exhibit, but the gem mysteriously disappeared. To avoid the patrol and security, Pei Pei left in a hurry. The next day, during the special exhibition, the nameless general awoke in front of everyone.
Night is shrouded in the two sides of the river. In the dark, they kiss quietly. In the starlight, they blush their faces. Little girl, why are you silent here in the middle of the night? Stare at me.
Uncle, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of me to rob you?
But not, or the lack of money here. You young people, do not go to Benhi Avenue in the evening. What do you do in front of the museum?
Come on the night shift?
Yes, in recent years, it has been an evil door. In the past, when you light it up, it made a pair of King and my little couple. Now it is okay. Go, the road is lit, and I will return early after work.
Titanay did not lie to me. Let me see. What a good thing for so long. The gem workshop and the gemstone workshop in the Dark Age. The traces of origin IUM circuit of this device are a bit out of. It's such a complete piece of formation. It is carved with a whole origin IUM. It is really exquisite. Wow. It is the sacrifice utensils of the following are excavated in the rainforest. Is there a lot of spot? Is the blood spots left by the living creature sacrificed? Is it a sacrifice held for the Battle of Black Soil? Let us. I will know you in the future. But I have an appointment tonight. When I met for the first time, I was sorry to disturb your peace at night. But I have many doubts. Only you can answer it for me. Please don't be angry because of my offense. Beautiful. Race fill in. Visual height is about to meter, and most of the body is mechanically replaced by metal mechanical, maintaining some physical tissues. The skin color is purple, which is suspected to be immersed by antiseptic potion. And it is still elastic, wearing a golden mask on the face, covered with golden armor throughout the body. And the organs in the body have been removed. Strange. Neither the corpse itself or the funerary utensils point to the clue of the treasure house. But everything excavated at the scene was here. Maybe. The clue is still the gem itself? The first one represents the heart. We exist since it beating. The second one represents the lungs, when we breathe for the first time. The memory begins. The third one represents the gastrointestinal and intestines. The food enters the belly. And the tongue becomes picky. We have preferences in personality. The fourth one represents the liver. We soberly enter the night, for responsibility and obligations. So, how do I use this gem?
Looking at the empty chest of the corpse, Epi pondered for a moment, put his hands into it, and put the gemstone in the heart. Immediately, he held her breath and waited for the change.
How come?
Without expecting the image, the text of the imagination emerged. Epi frowned and wanted to remove the gem out. She comforted herself. Perhaps the right place was wrong. But as soon as her hand reached into the chest of the corpse, she felt strange. Obviously she was just empty. but she felt that her hand reached into the water, and the gem was close at hand, but she felt that she was exploring in a bottomless pond. Ooh, I'm too busy to go home in the middle of the night.
Phew. Phew.
Gently put on the glass showcase. Happy stomped into the darkness, holding his breath. What happened? Obviously hearing a sound. It seems to. Here. Hey, who is there? Who? Neo. It turned out to be a small animal. I said, Xiaogui, where did you run from? Meow. Oops, what do you do so soon? I have a can to eat here. Strange. Why did that small thing disappear as soon as he turned around? Who is not tightened when I get off work? A hot wind was blowing in. I wonder there will be small animals who run in. I can't let it be in the museum. Meow. Meow.
Who's pet? I caught you to sterilize tomorrow.
Meow. I'm sorry. I slept too much and didn't hear you outside. Did you see that person? Very good. Hard work. Meow. It's been too long. We have been waiting for too long. Meow. You have to take him to see me quickly. Come in. I soaked some dries for you. You will like it. Happy, what did you do last night? Tell me. Tell me.
Not me. I don't. I never went out last night. I didn't do anything. Puppy, you. Orphan. Puppy, you last night. Didn't you sleep well? Why do you think so? I feel very spiritual. You fell asleep just now.
Early, too.
Well, so big wine. Where did you go last night? Tilly?
Pepe managed to come once. I took her to the city to stroll well. Unexpectedly, you drank so much yesterday. Can you get up in the morning? There was no taste on my body. Took a bath?
Yes. The brain is drowsy, and you must not take a cold bath to sober. Today is the opening ceremony. Tilly, I was about to die, and you actually took Pepe to drink together.
Oops. I didn't come early in the morning. I have read every detail of the exhibition. You arrange it perfectly. But
Isn't I done well enough? There a chance to adjust now. Just tell me directly.
it's just that you are too nervous today and relax. Let's prepare for the opening ceremony. Here, I will give it to me here. I promise that the exhibition will definitely be smooth.
Hola! You hurry up and change your clothes. With a taste of wine. The tourists have been carefully complained.
Seeing your soulless look. Do you have any trouble? What happened? Now, hurry up and explain it to me.
Last night I put the gem into the chest of the corpse. I wanted to take it out, but the security guard came over. After the exhibition, I will give me a little time with the corpse. And I will find a way to take out the gem.
Fortunately, everyone didn't find any difference. I find a way for a maximum of 1 hour. At that time, if you can't get it out, I will report to my pass.
Rest assured, I can't get it. I went to an inn to make a crime. What exactly did the wine taste on your body come from?
I went to the door and poured a whole bottle of wine.
Alas, I said why you were so sticky. How are you ready over?
There is no problem. Toya, a cigarette lighter is installed, and just wait for you to send a signal. You can immediately make confusion in the crowd.
How about you? Report location.
I am in place.
Very good.
I don't understand why you choose a plan here. There are many people, and things are not easy to do.
No, Heiweiji. You are wrong. More people. When the riots occurred, no one would feel that a few enthusiastic people were carrying a faint heart disease. Who were chaotic and panic taking care of themselves.
I've marked you on the map of the camera blind spot in the museum, and faint her.
Well, I will leave the field in advance to ambush. I don't want to collect these drugs in the rainforest.
I can recognize the pictographs on the sign. Miss, do you know where is the Northeast Branch Exhibition Hall?
Northeast Branch Exhibition Hall. I am not very clear. I haven't visited it before. If you don't mind, I am willing to accompany you to find it. After all, in my opinion, her beautiful muscle lines are much more exciting than these cultural relics.
Miss, please don't say that. The cultural relics exhibited here represent a period of history. In my opinion, all of them are worthy of people to stay and appreciate.
If you don't want to, we can also talk about these words. Alas, puzzle.
Can you ask if you are disturbed? Can you ask the location of the Northeast Branch Exhibition Hall?
I remember it seemed to be before. Right. Walk 500 meters and then turn left. You should get it.
I was so grateful. I asked many people, and none of them knew where the Northeast Branch Exhibition Hall was.
Alas, citizens in this city have always been proud of Salgan's long history. They are really not respectful for those distant areas. You don't know what the Columbia History Exhibition held here last time. It is just a bleak.
Indeed, I feel the arrogance of the people here. Thank you for pointing for me.
Respect. The biggest problem of modern people is that they do not know how to respect. Saying why it turned to this hall for a long time. I took a look from the right this time.
There are more people who are present today than they expected. Happy.
I was a little worried about Tane Nath, and she almost shattered the speech in her hand.
Rest assured. How about the situation when she first reported her speech for the first time? At that time, she fainted directly on the ground and woke up for a long time.
Hey, where are you going?
Seeing that she was too nervous and went to say a few words to her. Hey Nath, how are you ready?
I have been able to go back in this manuscript. Every audience present will stare at me and listen to every sentence I say. If I got stuck, or what would they think of me?
Don't worry. No one will remember. Maybe someone will talk about the girl who comes out at the exhibition at dinner. The Mangian festival is coming, and everyone will immerse themselves in the joyful festival atmosphere. Who will care about your little embarrassing memories?
But I'm still tight. Why do you suddenly rub my ears?
Is it better now? It is easy to use the old man. I remember that you were going to interview before. And I was so nervous that Pepe and I needed your ears for a whole day to let you relax.
Tide.
Ladies, gentlemen, please take the seat as soon as possible. Let us ask the curator, Nath L. Aiden, to make the opening report on this exhibition.
Go boldly. It doesn't matter if you say something wrong. Just keep talking about it. If you are nervous again, I will sneak into your ears behind you. The two people are embarrassing together than one person.
Tibby, you are talking nonsense again. Dear guests, welcome to the special exhibition held on the eve of the museum, on the eve of the manga festival. The highlight of this exhibition is the unknown male corpse discovered from the large tomb group in the know. For suburbs, as the first public display exhibit, it is not only preserved and intact, but the armor and funeral items on the body are also extremely complete. Looking at these close detail, its exquisiteness is amazing. It is not difficult to guess its origin. According to the Aslan annual law that has been circulating so far, we measured that this ancient corpse came from the early New Age, about the age of the past and the future king. Because its identity cannot be found in the current historical records of Salgan, we can only speculate that its identity may be.
I'm sorry to disturb. Is this the Northeast Branch Exhibition Hall? Am I going wrong?
Yeah, Ms. The Northeast Branch Exhibition Hall is on the other side of the museum, near the gate.
I am sorry to disturb your speech.
Everyone is just a small episode. Let us continue today's speech. Regarding the identity of this ancient corpse, we have made some inferences.
Alas.
Sorry. Sir.
You have no eyes.
Oh, my fault. Sorry, sir. Miss, where are you? Where are you going? Miss. But I have to. No problem. It's the most important part of the report. Where did I talk about? Sorry, everyone. I remember what I want to talk about. What is it? Oh, yes. It is the exhibits behind me. It is the.
For this speech, Nath was ready for a long time. She thought that if she was not exciting enough, the audience below would get up and leave. If they were wrong, they would yell. I never thought that I would be overwhelmed because of the rhythm of the speech. and I cowled and spit out a word here. She felt frustrated, but still kept calm as much as possible, took a few deep breaths, and made a smile to look at the crowd underneath, intending to continue to say. Suddenly, one hand was put on her ear, and then gently squeezed it. Anath blinked and felt a little warm.
Thank you. Tidit, in fire, don't have to settle.
Anath cowled and finished the words. When she saw the crowd, Katie looked at herself in horror, and the peppy mouth beside him was open, as if he could plug into a whole apple. Anath can't help doubt, if Tidal is not behind him, it was the hand on his ears. Anath swallowed his mouth and did not dare to look back.
Stage 1 end. The frightened audience fled in all directions. Ane fainted from fright, and me Jedi KT I struggled to organize the staff to evacuate the audience. Knowing the cause of the general's revival, Pepe devised a plan and moved the exhibit in the unconscious Ane to the curator's office alone.
Corpse. The corpse moved. Hurry up. Leave here. It's haunted here. Did the ancient corpse come to me? I knew it. I know that a city has a long history and sooner or later, this kind of thing will happen.
Please calm down. Don't worry. Don't panic.
Please leave in an orderly manner from the safe exit and go here. Don't squeeze.
Let go. Sorry. Anniversary thick mouth. Orphan.
After crowded crowds, Red Jadi KTE saw Anath pale and collapsed, and his lips were unable to open his lips. It seemed to have something to say. But the corpse crooked her head, was afraid of her heart, and did not dare to come forward.
Chi, you can make sure that the visitors are safe? I find a way to bring in Ath and this ancient corpse to other places.
Are you not afraid at all? That thing is moving.
Also, fortunately, I participated in the archaeological work of the 2 ancient calendar tombs this year. I have seen the 2 tombs. Compared to them, the old gentleman is already a kind of kindness.
Your archaeological gall is not ordinary. Are you traveling alone?
Rest assured, we have been doing archaeological strength. Until Honey.
Or Funshi?
She should not have a big deal, but just a sense of coma.
The curator office is not far from here. You go out from the side door and try to avoid the crowd. When I evacuate the tourists, I will go to you.
What happens?
No, we haven't moved yet.
What happened?
It seems that there are other people in the venue caused a commotion.
Really? Well, finding her. And reporting to me at all times. Soon as possible. We need to remit in the town after doing it. Everything is too late. Very good. Has gone later.
Leaning forward, Peppy saw the light blue light flowing in the corpse's chest. The gem has long disappeared into the light and can no longer see it.
It really is because of Gem.
After looking around the body for a few seconds, Peppy decided to press the left arm of the ancient corpse.
What's wrong with you?
Peppy frowned, shook his head and thought about how to make this ancient corpse obedient, but she was surprised to find that it had crooked heads and looked like.
Are you learning me?
Peppy took a step towards the left. The next moment, the ancient corpse also took a step according to her, and the pace was almost the same.
What?
Suddenly, Peppy jumped back, and the ancient corpse also jumped back, but there was a wall in the back, and it was a big bump.
It seems that you will move your arms and leg, and your brain will not move at all. Wait, who do the same action? Who won a tip?
Looking at Anath, who was asleep, a thought in Peppy came out.
I will go to the curator office soon. You learn something with me in turn. You have to let it hurry up Anath's shoulder. Just fell off just now. So, I don't know. It may make Anath uncomfortable. I'd have a small step this time. Just promise.
Because the step was too broken, Peppy looked at the ancient corpse stepping on his long hem, fell forward, and smashed it on the petite Anath.
When will the red marks on his face be disappeared? Alas, you are really smart. You have to hold her and hold it tightly. Walk with me. Don't be too big or too small. Very good. Go forward. Go again. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll take a few steps away from the office.
On the side, Peppy saw a pass on the cold floor, which fell out of his pocket. He looked at the hands that raised her, and looked at the corpse hugging Anath's hands. The ancient corpse is very high. If the other person is loosened, Aneth's back of the head will definitely fall miserable.
How can this enter the office? I can't loosen one hand. I can only use my feet to go. Very good. Keep balance. No, it is still not enough. The flexibility is too bad. I will not escape the health class if I know. Strongly, you can be enough.
Despite their best, happy toes are still not enough to pass close, and she was difficult to maintain a balanced posture. And she was crooked under her feet, till she fell to the ground. A corpse also learned her appearance, loosened Aneth, and fell to the ground in the same posture. It's like this. Happy saw Aneth's head hit the floor and made a stuffy voice.
Nath, I will support your next research project.
Do you need help?
Thank you. Oh, it's so good that you can come. Your curator is uncomfortable. Can you help me hold her into the office? No, this is my special way to stretch the bones.
What about exhibits? Do I need to help you move in?
No, I can make it myself.
You need to call me at any time.
I was finally able to move. Almost discover. See what I do.
You right? The target location is determined. Yes. I just met her near the 4th exhibition hall and helped her move her coma to the office. I am sure that she is in the office. In addition to the unconsciously blurry see inside. She was the only one. And I got her pass. Okay, no problem. I'm waiting for you here.
Yesterday.
Med Jetty KT.
The museum is so chaotic. Why are you still hanging around here? We are about to close the museum immediately. And we will bring these lost tourists out of the museum.
What happened? Where are we going now? Will we be dangerous?
Please rest assured that as long as you follow our employees, she will bring you to a safe place.
But I have other things.
Then me. Danger.
We are dangerous?
Who put the cloud beast into the museum? Pets are prohibited in the museum.
Oh, I didn't see the cloud beast.
If your job is negligent, let's discuss it for a while. And I will catch it first. With so many people, it will be stepped on.
It seems that I can only take tourists to leave. Forget it. It should be too late. Everyone, please come with me. Rotate right here is a safe exit.
Wait, isn't this the left? She is all employees here, and there should be no wrong. Don't go so fast. Little girl, the gate of a heavy exhibition hall was pushed away and closed. No one remembered that it should be opened. No one was worried that it was pushed away at will. And no one came to maintain the nameplate of the Northeast Branch Exhibition Hall on the door. The exhibition hall is solemn and silent. Aspasia heart beating violently, almost over her careful footsteps. After the gray and black monument stone of the tribe, the 5-color threaded sheer raider blanket, her sight was cast into the dim depth of the exhibition hall.
Our history is waiting for me quietly here. I should admit that admiring history is exactly such a solemn and peaceful atmosphere. What is the painting of the picture of the temple in front of me? Which mountain peak is taken from Minos? There is also a corner of the family piled up by cultural relics. And how wonderful imagination is the recovery of the ancient Minos life scene. Oh me, it all wrong. Because I recognize you. I was placed in the gold cup in the middle of the temple. Many years ago. My grandfather came here to see you. As well as my mother. My family suffered countless suffering because of losing you. Why did this museum put it in the middle of the pottery bowl installed with fermented milk? Based on the material and the decorative style. They should be able to judge that they are not complete items. Why did you go to another gold cup that paired? At that time, the Salgon people took them away, all of them. Why don't you know that properly? Even exhibit introduce us.
She stared at the exhibition for a long time, and then pulled the metal piece from the wall to review the back. No matter which side, it is extremely smooth and flat. Only her own shadow.
Sorry, this is just not righty. But these cultural relics appear here are the biggest mistakes. More than 100 years ago, the Minos people were humiliated and watched Salgan army stepped into Minos territory and wanted to trample on our civilization and history. It shouldn't be like this. I have to take them away.
Everyone, along the stairs. You can leave the museum smoothly. I still have something.
I still feel weird. When we came, we didn't seem to have taken this way. She's the employee here. Shouldn't it be wrong? Can we really go out from here and go home?
I should take you home.
I should give you the priests of Minos, and they should be studied by them.
Aspasia solemnly walked towards the booth and took the golden cup.
Many cultural relics of Minos should not be lying in this exhibition hall that is not seen in the sky, without being valued in no one.
Don't squeeze it. I can't see the road ahead. How can the safety exit not even the instruction light? Hey, there is a staff member over there placing the exhibits. She looks more reliable than the person just now. Hurry up.
You are here to visit.
Is this the road to leave the exhibition hall, lady?
Can I help you?
Stage to beginning. In the office, Pei curiously observed the revived nameless general while Narantoya was executing her kidnapping plan. Meanwhile, Mijai KTI, who was evacuating the visitors, encountered a supernatural event. A helpful Minos visitor, Aspasia, lead the remaining people out of the museum.
I didn't notice just now that this guy could imitate even his expression and mouth shape. Open your mouth and let me see. There are obvious sound devices at the throat. So why do you say nothing about it now? Theoretically, sounding is also the movement of vocal cords and muscles. You should be able to imitate it.
Peppy was close to the corpse, put her hand on its throat, and the body pressed her hand on Peppy's throat according to her. Quickly pulled back his hand. Peppy covered his mouth incredible, and the glory of surprise revealed in his eyes.
I can really speak. It's so amazing. I can't think of the sophisticated craftsmanship in the era of Shah. The ancestors once mentioned in an ancient calendar craft certificate. Some people can use origin IUM circuit gemstones to seal the consciousness of people, and then use gold to reshape their bodies for thousands of years without rotting. Changshengzhen. The skills of lost passing. Your Majesty will be interested in you. The treasure house must be hidden deep in your memory. You can't just learn to speak. You have to tell me where it is. The first one represents the heart. Since it beating, we exist. The second represents the lungs. When we breathe for the first time, the memory begins. The third one represents the gastrointestinal and intestines. The food enters the belly, and the tongue becomes picky. We have preferences and personality. The fourth one represents the liver. We are awake to enter the night, for our responsibilities and obligations. What is the fifth one? No, poetry is broken here. It seemed that the previous generation of All's Howland had no answer. But you can help me find the answer, right?
The girl reached out again and pressed her fingers to the throat of the corpse.
Yes, lady.
Yes, lady.
Hi, learn people.
Hi, learn people.
Slowly pulled back her hand. The girl held her body hand again, and clenched it with all my strength, and the corpse also held her back.
I just promised. Why didn't I see you in front of the door? Where are you now? What? Damn. The curator here makes the offset, psyche. No. Italy. Tell me. YAG. Corridor in the window of the curator office adjacent. Yeah, I know very high.
First, noise in the museum is prohibited. Second, disorderly is the enemy of rationality. Don't push. The statues displayed here are not protected by exhibition cabinets on large murals. Just like what I just said, this statue almost broke, which was a very bad. Although history has passed, it is by no means nothing to do with us. Maybe we have broken. It was the cheers of the mountain peak 500 years ago. Or the laughter of their wine glasses.
Ah, your explanation is so good. But do you surely carry this statue all the time? And other things in your hand?
Well, I want to bring them back to where they should be.
You have to close the restaurant. You are so dedicated.
Close?
Hey, the radio suddenly said that there were any emergency events. Scared people. A confused egg employee who took us left and left was left and right. He sit on his mouth to turn left. As a result, he led us to the right. When he turned left, she shouted and went to the right.
I agree with this, lady. I also have a little dissatisfaction with this museum disposal in some aspects.
The employee took us to this ghost place inexplicably, and he ran away without a trace.
I don't agree with this, lady. Tolerate me to argue. This is not a ghost place. Let me know.
You don't know. When we found that they were lost, we were all frightened. If you don't have time to leave the field, you could only see the evil soul in the museum. Look at the general armor. Look at the altar of the living festival. As soon as the tourist head was about to hit the floor, Aspasia pulled him. The statues, pots and gold cups are temporarily put down, and the artillery used by the Iberia people to open up the ball very uncommercial. Maybe. What's wrong with you?
It should be syncope caused by excessive frightening. I have sniffing salt here and can be urgent. But I need to go to the hospital for examination in time after going out.
Aspasia's skilled in a thin glass tube wrapped in cotton, and the wet cotton balls close to the tourist's nose. Later, she carried the wake-up tourists and walked calmly to the front of the team.
An emergency, is it?
Sister, her arm is so powerful.
Everyone follows me. If something goes wrong, I will protect you.
Sister, wait.
Alas, little guy. Don't you run around in the future. I have an impression. You were a pet raised by law. Ouch. How do you scratch me? I just rescued you from the crowd. Isn't it good to make me hug for a while? Your hair is really soft. How did Lao make you? I also wanted a special one before. But he refused to tell me what kind of breed you were and where you could buy it. I didn't understand why I liked you so much at first. And I have only realized it recently. You look like a statue of clouds and beasts in the dark hair.
Over the layers of downward stairs, Majedi KTE came to the room for cultural relics repair. In order to reduce the impact on cultural relics, the temperature of the air conditioner is very low, and the air is cold and dry. There was only one incandescent lamp in the huge room. She took a breath and found that she could condense into white gas. Employees who usually assist in repair are sent to maintain order in the museum, and the underground layer is dead. With her nose, she felt a bit fast.
Don't be afraid, little guy. My workbench is here.
There are also some resin-like golden substance on the table, which is the traces of Titi using Origin IUM skills to help repair the cultural relics, but the statue of the beast originally placed on the table was gone.
I didn't see the cloud beast.
Just now, there's a shadow passing by your forehead. This is not a good sign. It heralds that you will encounter bad luck.
Here. What are you? Are you resurrected too? Like that ancient corpse? Baba, I have worked hard to repair you. Not to let you run away as the research objects of a Nath. It not to recruit myself.
What happens? Who is screaming? I just received a notice to temporarily close the museum, thinking that you won't come back in a short time, to help you put away the fixed cultural relics. What? A group of tourists evacuated from the Southeast Exhibition Hall have not been found. Didn't you say that Jaya was brought out? I have to close. It is an emergency closed instruction issued by the deputy curator in person. I dare not think how bad things are. Does anyone want to find it? I have sent someone, but I can't find it. Where did Jiadek people? Why don't you say suddenly? What do you hear? It's the sound of wind. In the sun. A team slowly walked out of the door. A woman headed by her face was peaceful, and the teams of dozens of people were orderly and followed her. The wind took her corner and blew her hair. She carried the weak tourist on her shoulders. Like a statue standing for many years was given life. I always feel that I have seen this scene. I understand. I have seen that statue many times. Is there a statue of such a posture? Hey, thanks. I can finally close the door. Thank you so much. This is my business card. If you have time to take care of the gym business of our family, I will definitely provide you with the highest level of VIP services. Hey, it will come to Yanko when you come. There is also a big guy in the ant house, which looks good. My sister house also has a single girl. As soon as I go to work in Tianchi Mansion, you can also see it.
Thank you. Don't. I just do what I should do.
Aspasia turned back sharply. The rolling door slowly put down, and the security personnel were dragging the brand of "Close the museum today" to front of the door.
What about my golden cup? What about my pottery? What about my statue?
Where did Nana go? In all this time, there is no Garnet slurry shop. There is no glazed and enamel porcelain shop. Even her favorite Town King stone veneer water pipe is not.
Alas, I found it for so long. It was a waste of time. I see. The cloud beast was eaten by the ancient corpse that was run away by the museum.
I hate. How can you?
Pets. You can get a pet. There are a lot of good things. I'm tired discussing matters with what you want. I buy it for you. As long as you nod. Don't say those precious gems. Even the entire gem exchange. I can buy it for you. Are you acquiescence?
No. Look at your feet.
Eyes low, cub. Hey, what prestige. Dick, you are there. Oh, it happened. I make a buy and sell. My girl is very interested in this gem exchange.
Don't make trouble. I didn't say that.
I have a mobile platform in the eastern part of Saudi. I have built a large-scale origin IUM refinery, a factory, grain processing plant, and all of these, and attach some gold and silver treasures to buy this gem exchange.
I reject. You can't afford the weight of this gem exchange.
Wait, lady, you inherited the pride of your grandfather. Listen to me for persuasion. Either like him. There's a few fierce cracked beasts of the town field. Either let your little cloud beasts welcome a guest like me. At least it will so well. As my sing is so painful. You beast, you bite me. Wang, hey, roll away. Don't catch up. Wang, Tom, Wang.
Lolai, don't be angry. People who are not respectful have been running away.
Wang.
Want to let me touch it? Here.
A feathers flew. It stopped on the shoulders of the young gem exchange supervisor. The regulators fiddled with several agencies on the metal feathers, and then tightened their clockwork to release the feathers.
You must also look forward to meeting him. Right? Mayo rarely goes out so positively. The man said that it may make sense to let Xiaoyun beasts welcome important guests. Can Mayo really attract him?
Stage 3 beginning. Zubair told Pei Pei that he needed the remaining 3 gems to help her find the treasure. They searched for the gems at Min at Hadmei at night, on the other side of the city. Lei Huariao, the overseer of the gem exchange, also tasked his pet with locating the gems.
Until she...
Go. Take it back. Hey. Who was the most obedient little cute? Hey. Little thing.
Chidi, don't play it.
In the past, I didn't let pets at home. I always wanted to raise one. See, it is so good.
That's not a pet. It is the cultural relics in the museum.
Why don't you care about Peppy? You see. She is even angry at the cultural relics of the museum.
Tell me again?
Sorry, Miss Peppy. I can't answer. After searching for memory, the location of the treasure house is still blurred.
Don't really stop her. It feels a bit pitiful that the ancient corpse shrinks there.
No. Think about it again. Maybe I will remember it.
That is just useless. In order to ensure that the secret is not easily disclosed, the person who divides my memory disrupted the information about the position of the treasure house and evenly spread in each gem. There are 5 such gems. Maybe you need to collect them complete, so that I can tell you the answer.
Where is the position of the rest of the gem? You always know this. You do not know.
The army who defeated me was gathered by many Paja and the King Chief. When they left, the gem was taken away by them.
The opportunity to find them sounds very slim. No. Maybe there are other ways. Give me your golden head.
Faced with Peppy's step-by-step questioning, the tall Zubair slowly retreated to the corner, from the girl who was not as high as his chest in front of him. He felt a great coercion, and even the hard metal knees could only barely support the body.
Please don't be anxious. Miss, there is a weak gravity between gems. As long as they are near me, I can proceed.
What are you joking? Am I going to take you all over south? The number of gems in this city is tens of millions.
I seem to be vaguely felt just now.
What are you waiting for? Let go now.
You see, Ayneth, she even wants to bring the cultural relics of the museum.
Puppet, Mr. Zubair is a precious cultural relic of the museum. We must ensure that he has been in a suitable storage environment. The external environment is complicated and cannot let him contact directly. You have to dispel this idea. Stay here to study. Don't go out. 40% investment next year? Double. I will let employees keep staring at you and see. Why does she not be oily and salt now?
Mr. Zubair, although it is not polite to ask for the funerals of others, I still want to ask, can you play it for 2 days?
Of course, lady.
Come out, Mr. Zubair. No one. Why is you so effortless when you have such a large hole and such a big drill? Just like liquid flowing out.
My physical elasticity is extremely elastic and can easily pass through the narrow gap.
I still think, if you can't get out, you have to dismantle the wall.
It doesn't need to be so troublesome.
The bear closed his eyes and shaking the fork bell in his hand. With the ring of the ears, the heavy fence in front of the girl's eyes gradually disintegrated into sand and landed on the ground until a large hole was exposed. Peppy opened his eyes wide, walked back and forth from the cave several times, and grabbed his hand on the ground.
Why don't you use this origin IUM skill early? Just traveled to my head.
You did not make a request.
Then you can make up the wall quickly.
As you wish, lady.
A ringtone sounded again, and the yellow sun flowed into the air. After a while, the hole on the wall disappeared.
Hundreds of years ago, there was just a yellow sand here. Now the high-rise buildings are standing, a bustling sea. The river in the city slowly flowed, and there was lights on the side, which made me recall the city of King built in the oasis.
City of King I thought it was just a beautiful legend. For hundreds of years, no one had arrived there.
No, it does exist. The Paxi A violence, there is a horizontal challenge several times. I can only see him in person. It no longer exists.
It's just a Paxia fault. There is no need to anger a whole city.
I didn't do anything except the Paxia beheaded in Kai. The slaves who were imprisoned there were a lot of cities. What more? If you come to the local area, you will be dazzling for the dirt and smell in the city. They like to sacrifice living things in the water. But the water purification facilities in the city are not so advanced.
I have a taste in my head.
Yes. Can we go to see the river on the river here now?
No, don't go there. And the river is still brightly lit. If people find the cultural relics of the museum on the street, will not let me go. I know a place. Come with me.
The Raiderain asked. I have counted the museum exhibits. Please confirm. Sorry. Miss Mad Jetty KT. Why are you here?
Anath went to receive the guest temporarily, and I came to handle some files. Patham Stone is not damaged by the accident. Its gem eyes have one less one. Who remembers it? I learned I'd like it. Right? But you did record the stone statue wrong. Be careful in doing things in the future.
Yes. Is it? Let me see that the scripture person is. It is Jia and Maya. I remember that they seem to be the deputy curator. Yes.
The exhibition products in the Dark Era are counted twice. And remember to go again.
Here it is. 在小实验开始前，我可以与你做一些讨论。
It's my favorite place in this city.
You like empty streets.
It is not like this during the day. This is the distribution center of all the products of Minute Hammer. Not only do merchants from all over the country come here to trade gems, spice, people in other countries will also appear here to conduct large goods trade. If you want to ask where the number of gems in the city is the most, the deepest part of Dieziaka. There is an exchange specially built for gemstones, and almost the whole city of gems will circulate there. I will bet. Do you feel that there are gems we are looking for nearby? Have you listened to me?
And just curious about the crafts sold here. In my memory, this shape of animal sculptures are generally used to guard the grave and to accompany the dead, but they now seem to be sold as craft.
Ornamental ceramic sculpture. Can be used as decoration. 1 to 25th dinar.
Whether it is the painting on the wall, or the hieroglyphs engraved everywhere, many things make me feel familiar. But at the same time, it has a strong sense of strangeness.
Maybe. Go to see other places again.
By the way, Miss Majeti KE, all families have sent people to ask. I would like to ask you, how can we explain the accident to the Paco Shane who cares about us Aeon history in a letter?
Oh. It is said that it is the negligence of temporary employees, and we have dealt with it seriously.
Who is it?
Such as the director of the agent.
Really? Tiri, given that your passage has left a record of access last night and this morning, in case someone is investigating.
Not nonsense. My record is clearly cleaned.
You finally admit it.
I am not... No.
Rest assured, I will find a way to cover up these trivial things. But accidents such as ancient corpses on the eve of the drilling festival are not so confused.
What do you plan to do?
I want to close the museum until the storm is calm.
How to do this?
Oh, look at that wind tower.
Isn't this the most common altar building? Guide the cool air that circulates high to make it passing vertical openings with bevels.
Then the cool air can enter the bottom space, and the original hot air below can be launched from the opening of the opposite side.
I don't know if you still understand architecture. Don't you feel gems?
Sorry, they are not nearby. Maybe I can talk about some other things for you. Are you curious why those gems can preserve people memory and consciousness?
You really asked me on my heart, and I have always guessing the ancients are crazy witchcraft related to the Changsheng army.
In the era I lived, people would divide people's lives into three parts: body, name, and grit. Body is a real body. Undame is known to others. Ungrid means personality experience, joy and sorrow. And to grid is the origin of a person. If you want to be immortal, you must save these three parts together. Body can be replaced with harder substances. As long as names can be passed on by future generations, they can always be vitality.
I know that this is the origin of the inheritance of the Salgon noble title.
But there is only grid. It is the most vulnerable part. In the Dark Era, people found that they used a special origin IUM loop to engrave them on pure gemstones. Through special methods, they could save a part.
Just like the gem in your chest, I have only seen such a title in some ancient books and inscriptions. History researchers believe that this is just the ancient people's obscure cognition of life.
No, that's just a solution. Maybe. Its real mystery seal engraving the life course of life has long been lost in time.
Perhaps it is still saved. In the city. Gems that are carved with the origin IUM circuit can still be found. Last year, the origin IUM circuit was shot an unimaginable high price because it was able to change the ambient temperature in a small scale.
Ah, time may retain something. But it is often in an unrecognizable way.
The sun is about to rise immediately. We have to go back before opening the door of the museum. Let go. The museum is just ahead. This time I don't want to drill holes anymore. Use your origin IUM skills to copy the road. Do you feel the gem is nearby?
No. I want to look at the appearance of the sun. I want to look at it at a glance that it is time that it is unable to change.
Just a little.
You're lucky. It is still bright, but shine, still bringing me warmth. I greet you, Her HT.
The bear was buried under the yellow sand and accompanied by darkness, sleeping for hundreds of years, facing the rising sun in the east of the city. He narrowed his eyes into a narrow seam and looked directly at the flames of the flames. A long lost sun was sprinkled on him, and he was brilliant with his golden body. A dazzling light made Peppy feel a little unable to open.
Should we go back?
If you like to bask in the sun, you can stay for a while. We still have some time. A little bit.
The sun rises again. 4 days. No. This is the 5th day. Nortoya has lost contact for 5 days.
Don't get away.
This is precise work. Do you remember correctly? At that time, we came out of the museum, and the communicator fell into the sewer, right?
I must remember correctly.
Weird. We come to fish every day. Why haven't we been caught? I remember Nortoya entrustment that when she was not there, we should find a way to do money by ourselves.
You are right. Dayani. We have to make a big pen. In this way, we can afford the new communication device and contact the boss. Let go back to the museum to continue working.
Why, gee, as a fucking then?
Toda, Lord La, you see the steep color of the night sky, and the layers of curved patterns that appear on the surface, just like the magma flows slowly on it. I heard that this was dug out of the deep obsidian veins decades ago. You also know the current situation of the X is a volcano, but this thing is a rare treasure. The gem merchant in the city dare not estimated for it. You were not at the gem study exchange in the past few days. I've been waiting for you to come back.
Sorry. There is no origin IUM circuit on this gem. I'm afraid I can't give a high purchase price.
The blue feathers who had stopped on the supervisor cane flew up, and the obsidian was taken away, and it was gently put on the scale. After a brief shaking, a scale was attributed to static, and the young regulatory looked at the number of signs on the scale.
30/17 in all.
Huh? One of the Histi collectors had a high price, and it was estimated that there were 37. So Dana R. Lord La will you read it wrong?
If you don't trust me, you can go to the collector to trade.
No. Lord Pa, don't get wrong, no. I am not trusting the eyes of the supervisor. The scale of the supervisor, but in Lentian, long men are XST.
Here is the minute Hamami. The brilliant and beautiful things here are countless. The sand that you can pick up at your hand may be as stars with the stars, because of this. We value the special abilities of the gem itself than the value as a decoration. Obsidian without the origin, circuit will never have special features. 3017 Narnair is the highest offer I can give.
Will the stones from the sewer really be valuable? This is the city that paved the way with gemstones. You put it in the sun.
What should I see? Don't be sad, Ayami. Even if it is not valuable, it can help Nora enjoy a big career. For example, after she returned, she could drink ice water with lemon slices and juju for a week.
The little brother behind the front desk. Are you the receptionist here?
Receptionist? No.
Oh, for the first time we came to this place. Come to this place? What is doing? AYAG.
Come to make gem identification and sell gems for a good price.
Right. That is it. Do you know where to queue in the appraisal gemstone?
Give me the gem. I can identify it.
Huh? Is this a gem exchange? It is really amazing. Even the front desk reception staff will identify the gem.
Initially. This is a low-clarity pink-blue gem.
Low clarity? It sounds not enough to add dates to us water.
Don't worry. Lemon slices still have a chance. What's wrong? What wrong with the origin IUM circuit?
After AYAG, seeing the reaction of my brother, it is estimated that this gem has no function.
No. The structure of its origin IUM circuit should be excited by some small animals.
I feel excited to make small animal. Hey, honey, where did you go?
Of course, I go back to the museum to work. You can get a lot of money if you move an hour more. Forget the pink-blue toothbrush grip.
Zenaya?
Wait, your gemstone. Mayo, why did you come back so early?
Miao.
Really? Okay, it's okay. You have worked very hard. It seems that it is not easy to see him. By the way, Mayo, try this. Just like you. Yeah? Is it motivate again? Okay. Mayo. Then you go with Wowo first and find the gemstone position. They finally gathered in the city, right?
Stage for beginning. Before the gathering began, Keikai and Narantoya, who was helping Aspasia, used their respective methods to build relationships, both determined to win the prizes they wanted. Meanwhile, in the museum, in Eton Jedi KD, I had a disagreement over the museum's management style.
Oh, it is my honor to be able to meet you here. Miss Archipuesti, the slippers made in the early days of the New Age were really eye-catching. It was unexpected that the ancients had such exquisite shoemaking craftsmanship hundreds of years ago. They can forge such shoes that fits the curves in the foot, and the lotus pattern decorated on it is even more vivid. Not to mention, the slippers were born shortly after the Big Bang, which reflected the drastic changes in the local climate. Unfortunately, there is only one slippers, and you can't make up a pair. I'm afraid you can't take the first place in the game.
It's good to be able to take a second prize. Focus on participating.
Also, Ms. Hartzeptina, you are the daughter of Paja, and in the future, you will inherit the position of Paja. You must not care about these micro-honor.
Maybe many things may be.
When I heard that, Ms. Hart's sheepishly younger brother has been designated as the heir of the historian position, and 2 months later, he will set off to the City of Gold. Alas, no talented children like Ms. Harchipo were unable to choose from, which shows that the talent of her brother is high.
The same is the same. I'm almost the same as him.
See what you said. You need talent and ability to become Paja. I think that if Ms. Arts Shipu became Pafam, she would definitely continue glory for the family. It is still different. After all, Ms. Hart Shipu family is Saga most brilliant historian family.
There was nothing treasures on your body. Do you think there are any places that I need to be improved? Nothing. It seems that at this time. Give me a little time. I won the silver medal in the sprint race. No. He knew that he had done a lot of years in the army of the king. I also won the silver medal in no armored fighting. Robbery. How could we take the robbery to participate? Also, in the festival dance contest, I also won the silver medal. You want to take this way? Les. Don't embarrass yourself. In fact, I won 10 silver medals in 10 different projects, and I have always brought them around. These medals are the embodiment of miners' traditional culture, and it is also the most cherished honor I personally. Honor should not be regarded as the rare of comparable tests, but the situation is special. I only have this choice. In addition, Muratoya, I hope you don't misunderstand me. I will never participate in competition with such improper means, which will make my family ashamed.
Alas.
Sorry, what did you just say?
Nothing. Rest assured, I have a plan. Nothing. It not an instruction. Just want to ask you one thing. If you see a gold slippers, don't give it to high. Of course, it can't be too low. Still to ensure the professionalism of historians. For example, the second place is just right. Please, this is really important for me.
That exhibit has precious historical value. If you want to reduce the score, this is not fair to other contestants.
If you guess my identity, please help me keep secret. Thank you.
Yes, dear lady.
Teacher, archaeological operations. I will apologize to you afterwards. Only this time, I must not lose. What do you think? I have lost to that kid?
Alas.
Is it scared him?
Hey, minus silver medal set. Must be high. Must be the first. Third place.
Don't worry. Most of them have seen it. They all talked with me. I hope you do the same.
Lord Passan, the twisted rack of the corrupt man. Forgive me.
I didn't see the referee here. It should be protected by peace and returned to the conference room. So busy myself. The sun can't wait for someone. See who I met. Sorry, did you say it again?
Ms. I am honored to inform you that your participation items have entered the final stage selection. In other words, you enter the top 3 in the conference.
Not this sentence. The latter sentence.
Later, please follow me to move the water to participate in the awards and sinking treasures into the river.
So, you have to throw my 10 medals into the river.
How could it be that rude? We never dare to offend the gods in the river. We will put the treasures on a small sedimente boat, plus gold and silver jewelry as weight. Everyone will watch the sacrifice slowly sinking in the sacred chanting.
This one is not written on your brochure.
Sorry. In fact, we wrote in the notice of participating in the contestants who need to sign. The original purpose of the rally is to choose the most historic treasure in order to sound the door of the gods. Every year, there will be favored lucky festivals to see the gods walking on the banks of the river.
Sorry. This is indeed my mistake. I was close to the deadline when I signed up, and it was too late to read dozens of pages.
The lady, given that tourists enter the final selection, it is rare, and now you have the chance to confirm. You want to continue to participate.
She hasn't returned yet.
Miss, if you want to find an expert to consult, I can take you to communicate with the chief referee of the rally.
No, what I need is not the suggestion. I confirm to continue to participate. Hello? Listen to me. You can prepare a celebration banquet at night. I will never live up to your kindness of borrowing exhibits. I promise that when I go back at night, I will put the gem into your face. If the bear changes, you can also see it with your own eye. You can rest assured. And there will be no stains and damage. Let him say something? No. I was protected by me. How could I give him the communicator in the eyes of the public? Well, let's say something else. You don't know how difficult I am. In order to ensure that I got the second place, I had a morning with those old-fashioned referees. You listen. The results of the selection will be announced soon. When I get the gem, I will return to the quiet museum immediately. Strange. The sidewalks here are not narrow. I can finally rest assured. Happy has done the gem. And Mr. Zaber is fine? Let's go to drink a drink together. How do you stop talking?
You don't want to hear.
Tiri, I want to hear your suggestions.
Maybe you feel ridiculous. But I think the special exhibition can start again and pack the accident. It is a certain program effect, changing a more vivid and more lively exhibition method.
The ancient corpse and cultural relics of the exhibition event increased the fare, by the way.
The big difference is rare.
You should know what the locals generally use to scare children who love crying.
The exhibits in the museum were strange to be problematic. The museum in Colombia, I have been to be scientific and creative exhibitions that will be more horrible than failed if it succeeds.
But Titty, the kind of commercial operating ideas with making money as the first goal will make many people angry here. Many people. The foundation of this city is history.
Isn't the city standing? Isn't it that is about to be exhausted?
The family was almost as old and conservative as the stone bricks in the mausoleum of the museum hall.
Why do we have so many king chiefs in Paxi? I always love to manage this. They can't make huge sums of money on time every year like Pepe family, and then ignore everything here.
Teddy, the opportunity of the agent curator is not easy. I really don't want to cause any trouble.
Trouble? You actually think about it.
I don't mean that.
Then, just follow what you said. You'll go first.
要我和您交代新的故事，我们一定能够更加了解对方吧。
Next is the brilliant historian family heir, Inudi Harek Vulgarizer, explorer who traveled to Salgan, the people of the hearing, and the noble Pathan daughter. Ms. Hartship who has brought us the rare treasures. Take, this golden slippers of gold-woven lotus, and specially designed according to the sharply changing climate at the time, with very clear characteristics of the times. Moreover, it comes from the well-known imperial historian family. It is difficult for us to see the daily necessities that are so complete on the market and do not match the style of the historian family in the previous rally. Most of them flowed out of the historian family are collections such as letters, manuscripts. Today, as slippers, it shows us the other side of the nobles in that era. Its value is inestimable. Okay? Thank you for your comments. Next I will announce the referee seat score. Oh, sorry. Ms. Hartship, who is respectful, is temporarily second. This is the result of our fair principles and respect for history. Please understand that, Ms. Hartship.
Just like my expectations.
Auntie Hama is honored to accept your test. Aye, but enter the next one, okay? The next one is also the last exhibit of this conference. The treasures from the exotic, Mino silver set. Ask our experts to make an evaluation. We all know, the remote areas of Salguan also have bright civilizations, and some culture and arts in the Minos region can also be well integrated with the customs of Sargon. This silver medal not only reflects the tradition of the Mino-Slav sports, but more importantly, compared with most exhibits, its year-old years can be particularly accurately determined, and, as we all know, their lives are full of gold products. But silver products are rare. In fact, in some historical stages, silver is indeed more precious than gold. Very interesting comment. So, which three players will eventually get the opportunity to represent the city sacrifice rivers? Please allow me to reveal the score obtained by this treasure. This is really an unprecedented fierce competition. Ms. Aspasia, you are finally ranked third. Although there are some regrets, you also get the opportunity to sacrifice.
Thank you very much. This is exactly what I need. However, if you allow it, I will protest the award settings after the conference. I think Minos Golden Cup should not be just third prizes.
Okay, lady, please come to the stage first, at your exhibits, and follow the staff guidance. Third place, Ms. Aspasia. Second place, Ms. Hartshepton. First place, Ms. Lossad. 3 winners. Please be careful not to damage the exhibits in your hand. Oops, I'm so embarrassed. The weather is too hot, and I have a little collapse. I didn't take the things in my hand for a while. Let everyone laugh. Alas, but unfortunately this ancient pottery pot I brought was broken. I think it won't work to sacrifice the river with fragments. There has never been a precedent. It's really sad. I'm afraid I can only give up this first. However, the daughter of Paja, Ms. Hartship, did not have a higher person than you in this venue. The first is to give you a real name. Got it. I voluntarily give up my ranking on Dex at the game. An accident appeared on the court, and I believe that everyone at the present agrees that the daughter of Paja should get the first name of the conference. Well, that means the 2 for players will win our first, second, and third prize. Let us congratulate them.
Stage 5 beginning. To get the gem from Mija KDI, Pepe had to support her and left Zaber in the museum to attract visitors. However, the visitors' rude behavior angered Zaber, and after an argument with Pepe, he left the museum alone. By the riverbank, the disheartened Antoya met Zaber.
Please queue up to buy tickets. Please line up to buy tickets. A special exhibition meeting the Sand Age of Eshath, who is born with death, is currently on tickets. Please queue up to buy tickets. Please queue up to buy tickets. Yes, Just look at me like this. Just look at me. Don't look at the camera. Wait a little bit. He'll organize the wedding dress. Although it was made overnight, it was guaranteed by the 3,000 books of the Saiwa Ain Avala collected. It must be in line with history.
This exhibition is prohibited from taking photos to avoid damage to cultural relics. Please pay attention.
20 consecutive shots. Hello, everyone. Now, I finally entered the most mysterious room in the FAL Yawandabad Museum. Next, I will record the generals of the general through smooth mirrors, 360 degrees, and explore the mystery of the resurrection of the deceased of the brilliant city.
Dad! Its legs seem to be empty. Dad! You listen? Knocking on it is empty.
Well, yes. This batch of goods should be delivered to the east as soon as possible. The order is not large, focusing on credibility. Sir, please take care of your daughter. Sorry, wait a minute. I have something to do. Hey, however, don't touch it. Please don't make a loud noise in the museum. Hey, you'll have to engage in this kind of open exhibition yourself. Let your exhibits go everywhere. There is no limit to the ticket. So you make the exhibition hall so noisy.
This is because the acting director of this museum may not believes that history and knowledge are equal to everyone, and should not set up VIP tickets. In addition, the fence around 60 centimeters high around the booth around me has the effect of blocking tourists from entering. Your child crossed the fence and will be considered illegal. Please cooperate with the staff.
Alas, I didn't cast it in. Is it useful for foreign currencies on the manual? Diet? What if you give me one? Guard to the middle of its body, right? Please, stop. This is an important historical relic. There are too many people. I can't squeeze it at all.
Understand. I will use a weapon to open the flying throat.
Look here. I played a nightmare warrior 1,000 years ago, and I was defeated. This is a great historical reappearance moment.
My weapon did not touch his body.
Oh, the general of His Majesty Shah. What will you say about your defeat?
In the era of my life, when the army was killed by the captured leaders of the enemy, the most common saying was your internal organs will be eaten by worms.
Okay, let's say this again. Don't squeeze over. And still lying. There is a trample. Bad. You have to quickly support the applicant. Who can think of this? There are still overwhelming festivals outside. How can so many people running to see an old corpse? Miss Hardship OSD, I heard that you are looking for a special gem these days. It happened that there is a precious and extraordinary gem in the family. Today I will bring you a look at you, hoping to solve your worries. I wonder if you are fortunate to invite you to enjoy dinner at home these days.
Lady, I really can't get busy recently. Thank you for bringing this gem. But unfortunately, it was not what I was looking for.
Oh, it a pity. And don't disturb. Miss Hardship OSD, say goodbye.
How many people are waiting outside? There are still 73. They all claim that the gem in their hands may be looking for. Why are there so many people to see? Let's take a rest. You can rest in the afternoon. Several gem merchants from Bazaar said that they had found some clues and we went to see it in the afternoon. We don't need to see people in the afternoon. Just looking at gems.
Miss Enaf, the daughter of Paja has been sitting sadly here for 3 hours. Do you still have to watch the rest of the gem?
How many are left?
There are more than 200.
Put it there. Let's talk about this box.
Then I will leave first.
Have anyone just been here? They gave another box of gems. No, how did your head become a 4-edge Kona? What are the furnishings surrounded? Happy. The museum finally opened the door.
Yeah, Miss Aspasia, it is difficult to find a special exhibition now. I heard the gossip last night and wanted to remind you to line up early to buy tickets. But where did you go last night?
It doesn't matter. A special exhibition is not the focus of my visit to the museum. Or it is even more important to visit the collector.
You look good.
As I think, language is a bridge of peace, and communication is the basis of understanding. And this ancient city of history is not lack of knowledge. Alas, from ancient times to the present, the proud Asailan people who are proud of the glorious history, if they are willing to sit down, they talk to me all night, rather than plundering everywhere. Under my explanation, the collector understood the dedication of the Minos, and his introduction to the city also benefited me a lot. By the way, there is one thing. I want to verify you. In the modern Mona de Hama, is silver products more precious than gold products?
Why did you suddenly make such a joke? Of course, there are such things. For example, when they were threatened by the chiefs of the king.
Hence, I understand the situation. Is the brigade who lived with me back?
Come back, and take your other 2 friends.
The other 2 friends? Well, the communication of thought is more and good.
I am very happy to meet Kurante, who is more enthusiastic as her.
Aspasia went to the hotel stairs and stood in front of the door.
Mertoya, are you there? I have good news to tell you that after listening to my 3-hour speech, the collector who won the 3rd place gave me the gold cup. Do you want to go to the museum with me to see the right gold cup, huh?
Last night I did not see anyone entering and out of the gemstone. Mertoya, I have been hiding on the roof surveillance opposite, and I have not closed my eyes.
Sorry, no Mertoya. We now go to the daughter of Paja.
Like, now I find her again. Say the follow-up. You still return to the museum, but don't touch the daughter of the Paja anymore. I went to find the lost gem and gave it at least to Aspasia.
No need to pay back.
AYAG suddenly felt that the room became quiet. She looked at the strangers who came in, looked at Mertea, and finally looked at Ayani for help. Ayani raised one finger in front of his lips, and the other hand touched the anesthetic towards the waist.
Listen to my explanation. Now is the starting stage of the plan. When the plan is completed, I must still go to the gem. At least the equal price. By the way,
With the plan. I hear you plan to use that gem as a bait to kidnap the daughter of Paja. Sorry, I didn't intend to overheat, but I stood at the door just now. I believe that communication is the basis of understanding. And I also know that you owe a debt, and now you must use money urgently. So, do you want to talk about the ins and outs?
I have no task to arrange for you. The past is past. Almost no plan.
You know what I asked is not this.
If I tell you why I owe debts and how much money I want,
I think we can discuss a more worthy of conscience.
well, I still know you well. And you bother you stretch your hand out?
The run.
Nothing, no. Just look at the love between us.
Ayani and AYAG exchanged a look. They knew very well that the signal of Maratoya was a crispy heel.
Okay. I borrowed it here for half a month and took a gem, all of which I owe you. What about this bag of gold coins? I know that it is not enough. But our feelings are so good. Why? Hey, here are some coins from other places. Or also some gems. But the number of wins is also large.
You just don't want to talk to me like this?
Communication of understanding. But I have understood you. You may have imitated the statue day by day in the temple. Practice the basic skills of holding the sword. Or follow your parents to set up an oath of inheritance of a family for generations. You will definitely reach out to save a person who high-rise building. And you will also criticize a person who wants to use something special means.
Yes, you are right. I believe that people have the standards of measuring good and evil. And there are also standards in the laws. People should follow the scale. I also understand you. Maybe you will tell me that the law of the King Paxier is an abnormal scale. You would rather follow your heart. However, Mertoya, I can't believe my own heart.
If I was caught by the master of the Wang Chief, or me, it will be a big loss to the entire assailant. Then the chances of messed up to kill things will be much smaller. Of course, I want to attract everyone to stay with me. If you are too scheduled for those who leave, wouldn't I be as stupid as those who hate me? I mean, we all don't embarrass each other.
I think our debt is clear.
You are hurt.
Just a bit of scratch. Rest assured.
You should deal with it. I have seen many samurai negligence, ignored the small injuries, and finally lost my life.
I will tell you modern medical technology.
Do you want to have a rest?
No, I will take a note of the soaking notes.
Silk water?
But I am not sure if I still have the energy to tell you.
Before the morning, You said you will share the information you have harvested to me. You made a promise. Peppy, you should tell me.
I found nothing today. I put the information out. Countless people came to me with similar gems, but none of them had a relationship. Throughout the day, countless gems flashed in front of my eyes, and I looked dizzy. Later, I wanted to order a drink for a while. There were the children next to me. The table was poured. The drink was over. I scratched it. The laptop was soaked up. This is what I can share with you. Subare. Can you get the information you need from it?
Then, do you want to hear my experience today? A lot of strange people came, but it was also very interesting.
Let's talk tomorrow. You don't need to sleep. But I'm really tired.
I don't want to stay in the exhibition hall. Peppy,
After the exhibition is over, I will take you to find other gems.
I don't want to find gems.
How can that? As the guardians of the Shiba rank, shouldn't you remember all as soon as possible and shoulder your duties?
Isn't it you who know the location of the treasure house?
Yes. Otherwise you think I wake you up for?
Peppy, but I have been awake. You can no longer treat me as a cultural relic. My behavior and ideas are controlled by myself. At least at this moment. I don't want to remember my past so quickly. Tomorrow is a good weather. I want to go outside and don't want to think about anything.
If you see the museum exhibits in the sun alone, the people in the city will be crazy.
I said, I am not an exhibit. It doesn't matter.
Some things. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Good night.
In the empty room, the bear tried to press the switch on the wall and turned off the light. After a while, he tried to press it again, and the lamp was lit again.
Yeah.
Fire stood in the middle of the night, staring intently at the flashed window in the distance. Then, the lights are no longer flashing, and the glass is broken.
Nanfeng has passed.
Why are you so scary now? What are you doing? Don't you want to give birth?
What are you, strange?
That not a way to jump in the river. Well, moreover, little girl, where do you roll out from the customs? A long time ago, when people were hesitant, they did ask questions to the river, but later many problems could be solved with money.
Thank you. Not very useful life tips.
However, I can answer your question. The lighting person raised the fire in his hand and closer to Naran Toya. Before Ninfeng blows over, the money you get is not enough to fill your own desire, but it is enough. Heaping yellow sand. I can only answer another question.
The people who thought about Minarthamima were very generous. Or used infinitely. No. Not a problem just now. I want to ask. Will the dead Minos people come to me?
Meeting. As soon as the other party words fell, Bartoya Yuguang glanced at a shadow. A figure stopped on the empty street, looked at her for a moment, and then turned away.
Aspasia!
The shadow turned across the corner, and the red Kirin got up. In Naratoya ear, there was only the sound of wind, the sound of the river flowing, and the singing of the lighting person behind her. I hope I have to see his strolling on the banks. I hope I will move towards eternity with his footsteps.
Lost. Really see ghosts. I'm not stupid. He was praying for the shadow of something. So, I really see ghosts. Wait.
She sat down on the street, on the other side of the flower bed. Some people also listened silently in the dark.
There are often water on the bench on the other side of the river. Remember to wipe.
Aren't you really afraid of ghosts?
Why? Do you see that shadow? And then scare. Want me to protect you?
Although I couldn't see clearly, I always felt that it may be the dead souls of the late relatives and friends.
They are better than one person. Heard that the person who saw the figure could get the blessing of Monty Hama. But the people sitting here seem to be in bad egg.
I just quarreled with people.
What a coincidence. I think it should be noisy. Right.
If you win, you won't sit here.
Do you know? Someone told me 10 minutes ago that the locals had no troubles because money could always solve trouble.
I think it makes sense.
Someone threw something to smash me, and some people stained the new cloak I got last week. I also had an inexplicable day to get married 20 times a day, both men and women. No one wants to listen to me.
Oh. Although your voice is a bit strange. Hey, when I was young, once we were walking back to the beast team that we was rushing to grab, and the headscarf cow wouldn't stop the sand that scratched it. Fortunately, we have a lot of people. And immediately found a piece of open space that felt different. Rain and Sally just barely squeezed all of us. Do you know well? I know it after several years.
Yeah, iron can make the river behind. When the city is built and died, it can expose the bones to the yellow sand, and it can also make history deeper and deeper. The death of the past is nostalgic, and the nostalgia is terrible.
Yeah. You can't recover if you miss it again.
What are the people you miss now?
Leif. So I owe them as a boss. Fools will definitely be able to get up and come back to live the previous life.
I don't know either. Just like people desperately went to chasing the gods in the river, but finally seeing a face that they didn't want to see.
Then at least it means that you are not so scared. Well, when I left my hometown yet. Everyone feels that Nightmare should be the owner of fear and never be dominated by it.
Were you a nightmare?
Yeah. Why?
Nortoya felt that the other party patted her shoulder, though she turned her head naturally. On the silent street, only the street lights were lit away from near and nearly. Humming songs came in front of them, climbed up the ladder, and opened the glass lampshade.
Help. Life saving.
Stage 5 end. Deceived by Narantoya, Sabera is sold to Lei Huriel. After the deal, Lei Huriel's pets poke, revealing their true identity as the Beastmaster.
What are we waiting for?
For people like you.
How long do we have to wait here?
Don't tell. Just wait.
Can I get me the phone when I see it for a while? Someone has explained to me before.
Your mechanical synthesis voice sounds, and others will be a scam.
Alright.
According to your statement, our cooperation is followed by the Great Alliance in history. What are the benefits of finding gems for you to run your lives? I do gain something. When you scared me in the middle of the night yesterday.
What do you recommend?
I dare not. Live is your greatest gift. You are the ancestors of Salgan. It is what I should do to find you for gems. Don't be excited. However, it seems that the cultural relics that won the first place in the rally seems to be such a pure gold, most inlaid slippers.
Yeah, they should be right.
It is also a way to get rid of the people on the street in the middle of the night.
One of the pairs of cultural relics, one of which was always lost in the bottom of the river, and the other naturally lost most of the value.
You ask me. In order to rob. But I have not surveyed my own place of birth.
So, are you, on your own day?
God. No.
Are you not practicing an adult ritual so far?
Yes. It is not an important thing. Just drops of blood have not turned me into tyrants and conquerors. And I don't intend to let it affect my own life.
No. This is important. How can your blood be recognized by your ancestors if you don't walk through the sky?
Most of my ancestors disappeared at the end of the earth. They would not sit up from the museum and scold me suddenly like you. I heard that people in the Sa USA era shaved their heads in adulthood and then applied balm. Huh. Huh. He's actually difficult to smell. What? Oh.
Yes, lady. Very coincidental. Regulators of the gem study exchange released the news that there was a piece of gem in his hands that needed to be traded, and all aspects were in line with your description. Even if I introduce it, it is difficult for you to talk to the transaction directly with the supervisor.
What? Listen to me and said that they could sell gems directly when they looked at the front desk.
It's easy to sell, and buying is different. A gem exchange is not an ordinary shop. You need to take out the size of the weight in order to get things directly from the supervisor.
Oh, yes. This is the business I want to talk about. That is recently displayed in the museum.
A young regulator of the gem study looked at her with a complicated expression, and then leaned down in front of the huge gold-plated box. The bear lying quietly with his hands overlap his chest. In all fairness, Martoya believes that this is the most valuable moment of Zabair, and even the appalling golden mask seems to exude a sacred soft light.
This box is familiar.
This is not ordinary cultural relics. Don't be so unprofessional.
I heard that it has been resurrected and can act freely.
Well, we all know that people cannot be resurrected. They are only the performance of origin IUM. Besides, aren't you afraid?
Are you afraid that after I bought it, did it escape again?
But who have the circulation of money in the entire city are so different.
Wait, is it him?
Hey, you see, this kind of smell that has been dead for thousands of years is impossible to forge. Of course, I know that this cultural relic is too precious. Even for you. I don't expect to make too much, but I promise that there is no way for the museum to find me.
No. You give a heavy weight. It is far from the degree that my scales cannot be measured. What do you want to exchange? I heard that you came for a gem.
Hey, this is a case. I am foreign.
Kaijin settlement. You'll take the right scale. Please move the goods into the inside first, so as not to be seen by others.
A happy cooperation. I like such a refreshing person.
I don't like to sleep back to this coffin at all. In fact, you don't need to let your men be transported out.
Hush. Don't tell. I will come back to pick you up soon. You hurry up and find the gem you want within today.
Okay? Don't forget. I am also looking for you.
This is my offer. How do you meet?
I can't forget the crescent on the blade.
Please. I didn't say that there was still next time.
At least in the short term.
She should understand my hint, right? Nortoya. If she is really a descendant of a nightmare, there was a treasure house waiting for her.
He finally followed the news that I released to this exchange change. Mayo, Ocean.
It is worthy of our praise.
Stage Street 2, from the Beastmaster. Zubair learned that they had been waiting for his return, and Leigh Al presented another gem. At that moment, Zubair fully recalled his identity and duty to guard the magnificent treasures left by the Shah as the Shah's general.
It seems that Zubair seems to break the window. Have you left? I will go back to him back. Give it to the museum to find it. Beba, you haven't taken a good rest for many days. The messenger of the Golden City will soon arrive in my father's territory. I must hurry up every second. The damage of the museum has been cleaned up with Titty. Maybe there are several places Zubair will go. And I will set off. Puppy, do you know why I didn't want to lend you Zubair at the beginning? In fact, after receiving your letter, I would like to tell you, 2 months ago, I went to your father's territory on a business trip, where I saw the messenger of the City of Gold had arrived. Your brother has set off. You know, you didn't tell me. You described my discovery to me in Zing Sing. and wrote 20 exclamation marks in it to express your excitement. I really can't bear it.
You make me happy, yeah.
This is the city of gemstones. There are countless gems here. I think you can't find it at all. I thought maybe I gave up as soon as you arrived.
But the messenger of the City of Gold has always arrived in August? Why is it advanced?
Your father wrote a book, hoping that the messenger would come early.
So they made a decision long ago. But I was afraid that I would not stop. So when I left the house to find the ruins, I sent the kid into the City of Gold. Oh, didn't my father tell me? Will he wait to see my discovery and make a decision?
Puppy, the elders always have their own decisions. Not what our juniors can intervene.
Did you see that kid? He must be very proud. In order to enter the City of Gold, I don't know how much more energy he is over.
Puppy, your brother is not happy. I can see that his expression is always hidden in his expression. That day, he called me to the study and said that he knew that he would never have a chance to meet with you in this life. I hope I can bring you a sentence.
What did he say?
He said he wanted you to remember his voice. After speaking, he left. He has very little luggage, and only a few of them are his, and the rest are all related to you and your uncle. Happy, 听我和你交的新的故事，我们一定能够更加了解对方吧。
From childhood to large, everyone told me that becoming a historian around Her Majesty continued the glory of the entire family. But Aina, honor is often exchanged for sacrifice and dedication. Entering the City of Gold has become a historian, which means that you have to stay in the city for life. And you can no longer meet with your family and friends. Only countless book scrolls can be accompanied by you.
You hate Chang'ai in front of the desk. Happened?
Yeah, I also want to travel to Saug for a lifetime and freely search for the traces left by every history. But I can't do this, because I can't let the boy pay for it.
Happy, don't you get used to your brother like this. I would rather be uncomfortable or let him feel smooth.
From a young age, whoever saw the boy would praise, saying that he was quiet and calm, and was the material of a historian. Only I know how naughty and playful his nature is. Letting him sit in front of the table for a second is torture.
So what is the position of him with you?
Because he doesn't want me to go to the City of Gold. He just doesn't want me to stay alone.
And you, 听我和你交的新的故事，我们一定能够更加了解对方吧。
I don't want him to stay there alone.
Herbal is sour caused by the standing stand for a long time. That nodded. Jim that allows the other party to apologize. Hit a bit, but it's not what I want to find. I can feel that Jim is very close. But there are too many gems in this room.
Hearing the footsteps from the corridor, the bear immediately lay back in a huge gold-plated box. He felt the gaze of his eyes, but without the sound of breaking the silence. He opened his eyes with the stitches. It is a sandy animal.
Incredible.
The sandy animal jumped into the gold-plated box, with a Zubair golden mask, and seemed to smell the smell of it gently. Black animals also came in.
Mile, 在这一场实验开始前，我可以给你做一些讨论。
It seems that your memory has been recovered.
Well, the taste will not be wrong. You are not a fake.
Shut your mouth. OVIO.
How did you become so small?
We have become what we are now. Isn't it because you have not fulfilled the responsibilities of the servant?
The responsibilities of the servant.
If I still look like the past in your eyes, then I have to be carried out every day. How could I have time to help you find gems? In contrast, the form is more convenient now.
No. Now Zubair is still unable to understand what we are discussing. Before he arrived, I had warned you.
It doesn't matter. Zubair will immediately understand what we have experienced in the past 300 years. W. Let's call our new servant.
Young Regulatory passed through a long corridor and walked in front of Zubair. The blue feathers flew up suddenly, flying to the high place of the exchange, and moved the agency in light. A gear maison, the clockwork sounds, and the feather beast takes out a gem from the open safe. The feathers put the gem in the center of the dark brown velvet cloth on the tray, and presented by the young regulators. His eyes were flat, and his eyes were hot.
Mr. Zubair, met for the first time. No, I haven't seen it for a long time. This gem is my weight at this gem exchange, as well as all gems circulating in Bazaar. Mr. Zubair, I want to know if all these add up. Can it be more heavy than the soul of a sinner?
The door is not locked. Please come in. Please enter. Is it you, Nurtoya?
The night outside the door was empty, but the knock on the door of Duck continued. Aspasia turned his head and saw a very classic mechanical device on the door. A rotating structure knocked on the gem and light on the door at a constant speed. And I did not know where the gravel shook from where the gravel came from.
The new tricks of the faith.
Aspasia reached out and wanted to pick it off. It hugged the gem door and decorated it on the ground. The gem flashed in the darkness. Then Aspasia disappeared at the entrance of the sewer with the gemstone and the mechanical device.
A group of gems snatched a gem. That also good. It just that the gem recovered his compatriots from the excavator.
Respect history. Respect our dear Martoya.
Although Martoya is not there.
But this doesn't mean Juice was invited by her.
I didn't know that an ancient corpse was so valuable. Or will we go to the museum warehouse to see tomorrow? Is there any other death?
Alas. Just find the dead in the museum. Why don't you know how to do it? We have to find the dead outside the museum.
Yes, you are right. However, will we not become police?
AYD, are you missing something? I always feel that you don't look as pleasing to the eye.
Huh? No, I must have nothing. How could a thief be stolen by others? Don't say it. Continue to drink.
Thank you, young people. These metal creations who accompanied me are back. I am also my responsibilities. You and I are awake to enter the night, and now the sun is about to rise.
Stage 6 beginning. Saber used storage in IUM arts to awaken numerous constructs, intending to restore the entire city to its former glory as a treasure vault, putting everyone in danger. Dur then commissioned the two Beastmasters to set challenges for Norantoya on Pei.
In the room, the air became dull because of the heat. The girl sat in front of the table and wiped the sweat flowing from the forehead while turning the thick in formation. There was a footsteps behind her. She knew that someone came in, but she was too lazy to look back. There is tonsil on the table, and he will take it by himself. Sister, what book are you reading? Sister, the sun is so good in the afternoon. Go out to play. Sister, won't you plan to drill in this pile of gray papers for a lifetime? Sister, I asked my father, and he said he would consider making me a historian of the City of Gold. Sister, it's good to be a Paja. Give up.
Don't make me noisy.
The girl turned her head sharply, but found that there was no one behind. Only her scrolls were lying on the floor alone.
Puppy, are you there? Open the door.
I'm there. Please come in.
I sent so much news to your communication device. Why don't you reply?
I turned off the communication device and read the book for a night here. What happened?
So many things happened last night. Can you know nothing here?
Do not know.
Listen directly.
Emergency incidents occurred in multiple areas in Michang. A large number of metal assembled puppets stepped onto the street and left after snatching a large number of gems from the residents' homes. It is reported that many citizens have reported to the city guard, and the captain of the guard said that they are under investigation.
No puppet.
According to witnesses, he witnessed these metal pretend puppets from the museum of the museum last night.
What?
I want to say, she said. A Nath said that the museum staff followed the trace of the structure and finally found the Dabezi.
Is it me, Bazabear?
We suspect that this is the case. But no one has seen him. You have been with him for the longest time. Can you go to see it?
I guess, but what about you and Dana?
As the managers of the museum, we must always find the cultural relics as much as possible. We plan to go to the streets to see.
As soon as there is news, I will notify you.
Slow. The station is inserted in urgent news. Some citizens found that the water flowing from the water heater became turbid, and a large amount of sediment was mixed with. The Guardian said that they are urgently organizing manpower to investigate the older wind groundwater channels. Due to the complexity of the channel, it may still take time.
Huh? What the situation?
Someone has told me the story here. The gem is prosperous, and it continues to bring wealth here with spices, satin, and craft, through the gem exchange. Through these gems with special origin IUM circuits, Montehama became a morning star inlaid in the sandy sea.
The ancient buildings kept flowing down the yellow sand. People pushed the windows or walked out of the door, and looked at the houses where their ancestors lived in a surprise. The men looked at Saber standing in the middle of the street, but Saber seemed to not notice them. He leaned down from the yellow sand and picked up a jewelry, and the gem in the spiral metal frame was shining in the sun.
Mr. Zubair, The murals you mentioned are in front. My grandfather once said that the picture on the wall depicts the lives of the Gus Algan people and records the birth of Min at Hama. Even if the river is dry, the city is buried under the yellow sand. It will not fade.
Not fade. Yes, just like every gemstone flowing in your hands. However, it was not that the river was dried up, and the yellows had buried the old city. Instead, the flood was destroyed at the top of the great building, and the glory buried in the depths of Huangsha became the secret of thousands of years, every day rising and falling. It is a reinterpretation of a small reincarnation. This is the case in a short day, and this is the long life, the pride of the city, the prosperity of the empire, on the end of the earth.
I think that although the murals can only record the moment of the next life, this moment will also repeat the reincarnation over and over again. This is its value.
Shalef drawing these murals is not left for his own name in the reincarnation. What he wants to leave is his explanation of time and life itself. And after that, the world has a basis that can be followed. The past and the king of the future. Built his treasure house here. So countless kings of the king chiefs were here in the long Islam war behind him. Until the hot wind and John and made the climate change grew. It ushered in the blossoming floods, the walls of the city, and the river dehosted, and the land became omnipotent. The traces of searching for the treasure house in Huangsha found nothing, so they began to believe that the treasure house had been destroyed with the flood. The treasure hunting team of the king left. The craftsmen and businessmen came here, and a new settlement was built by the river. I always look at it all. I was ordered to guard this treasure house. This is my duty. I wandered in the yellow sand, and I tried my best to rise in sunset, blocking those unraveled of the secrets of the secret. And you, young people, you should be more sure of the ontology of the Shaibi AOK than anyone. Just in the city of this city, the fourth one represents the liver. We soberly enter the night, for responsibility and obligations. Thank you for the gem you returned. Let me recall more past events. Initially, thousands of capable craftsmen came to a barren Mentema, from the golden organization maze to the hand-carved origin IUM circuit gem. The craftsmen created everything, and then buried them into the yellow sand. Most people of later generations believe that after exhausted their efforts, all craftsmen have been buried beside their creatures. But in fact, there are still some craftsmen living in a village in the southwest of Minatama. And the secrets of where is the entrance of the treasure house, for generations. It's time for you, young people. The next thing is related to your family.
The young regulator closed his eyes tightly and seemed to be submerged by heavy memory. After the story was circulated from generation to generation, it has become the scorching sun over the desert of thought, and it is expected to see it, steamed, burning, to ring.
300 years ago, the army gathered by many Paxia king found the village. They asked the villagers to ask the entrance to the treasure house, and those who insisted on keeping were cut off, because the villagers continued to be injured. A gem craftsman who lost his hands took the initiative to find the Emperor army and proposed to lead them. In front of the treasure house, he witnessed the fierce battle between the Emperor army and the guardian of the treasure house. Although the guardian was defeated, he would not open the door of the treasure house without his spells. The Anger-One chief opened the guardian chest and scratched every gem inlaid inside and outside his body. Although the conventional craftsman used the knowing technology to guide his young children to repair the body of the guardian did not wake up after all. Then, the bazaar of the men at Temayame rose up a balance. The artisan child buried the guardian after an adult and set up a gem exchange. Since then, his descendants have been waiting here. Each generation of ancestors has done their best to make the gem trade of Mon at Hama more prosperous. For a century, one day, people can get out of the yellow sand of Salgon. And the gem will gather in this city. I can return them to you.
Feeling that the fork bell was on his chest, the supervisor did not dare to open his eyes, but in front of his eyes, it seemed like hundreds of years passing through. The sun is rising and the moon will be changed. The regulator saw the prosperity of the city, and the resurrection died again, and the building in front of them slowly turned into gravel. The regulator saw an ancient guardian walking in the boundless desert. The guardian opened his arms and bathed under the starry light, waiting for the sunrise for the east. He felt that someone was looking at himself, and he lowered his eyes to meet the regulator's attention. The supervisor cowled and helped, shaking in the gaze of the guardian, the words that are about to be revealed.
What a long time. You are free. It's been a long time. In the past hundreds of years, I'd have lost my duties, but now I have returned to the world. I will redeem the time we owe at this city. At the same time, I have another request, hoping that the two can agree. If the nightmare is really a descendant of Harlan Dudu, I will open the treasure trove for her. Oh, Rio, please confirm her blood.
To me.
Hun, I still need to test her. If she can't go to the world in the end, it is destined not to be a qualified nightmare. In any case, let her take that step.
I see.
How won't I want to go together, right? Oh, I don't have any good opinions about those nightmares. The content of the alcoholic among them is too high. Sprinkle the liquor everywhere. I don't want to bother to lick my fur.
No, Mayo, you need to help me complete another thing.
Say, young people.
After I fell asleep, Shaw Treasure House suffered such serious damage, which was my loss. I have to admit that even if there is a constructor to assist in the side, my power cannot compete with the army where the King Paxia assembles.
Tell me your decision. I will do it for you, as always.
I met a child, and I think she can help me. She pursued the footsteps of Shali and found the gem I lost outside. Without her, I couldn't wake up.
Oh, do you mean that child? I have seen her. A very good child. Moved and lively. It is a bit stubborn. It reminds me of her.
Yes, when I retrieve my memory, the girl behavior makes me familiar. Just then, my sister and I strolled in the streets of the City of Gold, where the bricks and tiles there. She knew their reason. She's always very fascinated on those things that have been on the year.
What do you need that girl to do for you? Zubair?
I need a companion to wait for the return of Shah with me. Naya, please confirm whether she is qualified.
Hurry, Zubair. If it is your wish, he'll be there.
Stage 7 end. Tepe, who arrived at the Grand Bazaar, was swallowed by Mayo, while Narantoya encountered W in the chaotic city.
Oops. Why are your child walking so carelessly?
Sir, I hurried to see you without seeing you.
You okay? My old bone is quite real. You. But can you run in a hurry? Don't you know something happened? Those metal dolls. First, constantly sent the whole city of gems into Dajuzier. And now they have begun to demolish houses and drive us out of Dab AZ.
Are those decorations reflected in the demolition of houses? Let me see what the situation is.
What can you do with a child? Alas, a child.
No one.
On the bustling streets of the usual week, there is already no one. And only the gemstones gather together. They raised their hands. And the houses of the houses were turned into quicksand. And they fell on the ground. Among the flowing sand, the layers of giant pillars and high walls raised.
Almost hit. Meow. Alas, where does the small animal from the? Meow. Hurry up, hurry up. This is not where you should stay. Go.
The animals in front of them were not afraid of the girl's scolding. Instead, Chishi squatted down and gently licked her fur. Peppy was doubtful and decided to bypass it to continue. Just as she was about to step out, the animal raised her head and looked straight at Peppy's eyes. In its stare, Peppy felt difficult to walk, but it was just a very small animal. She took the courage and took a step forward. It was a deafening violent drink, and the girl felt her dull pain. She couldn't imagine it anyway. Such a voice came from an animal with a high calf. She covered her ears and closed her eyes, wrinkled her face into a ball, and almost patted her to the ground. When she was drinking, she felt she was shrouded in a huge shadow. Opening her eyes, the girl saw a fierce beast in the middle of the street, covered with thick sandy golden fur, and she could see a pattern walking on it, overflowing the graceful lumens. Like being attracted, the girl looked at the eyes of the beast, and at the moment she looked at, she felt that her soul was sucked into those golden pupils. Breathing, heartbeat, pulse. It seems to be pinched by it, which can be terminated at any time. She couldn't move completely. She could only watch the fierce beast slowly walking towards herself, and opened the scarlet giant. Swallow yourself. After a while, the world was dim.
Hello, this is Aina, the director of the Bad Museum. Yeah, we have received the news. But I'm sorry. I'm afraid we have no effort. Experts from the Institute have been assigned to various urban areas. At present, we do not have enough people to evaluate your losses. Please do not misunderstand. Of course we pay attention to your investment. Hello, this is Anath, the director of the Bad Museum. No, we have not responded to the suggestion for the time being, and there is no time to accept the radio program connection. Hello, oh, this is Anath, the director of the Bad. Hey, sorry, the sand is very large here. Please, rest assured that on behalf of the Bad Museum, I will guarantee it. We will provide collections for the first time. For the collection of containers. Do you say that a statue is built in your garden? How many stone pillars? Please describe it in detail. Yes, the decoration you described has the characteristics of the new century. Before the establishment of Minute Hama, this decoration style has declined and the skills are not available. I send someone to check the situation as soon as possible. Teddy, can you please run the trip? I don't want to believe it.
It seems that you also have bad hunch.
So, seeing it is true, Teddy, what wrong with you?
Did you just say? Saying it is true.
In the dry gust of gusts, the yellow sand is passing over the tide of the river bank, and the waves are ground to the pedestrian tip. Immediately, in front of the two, sand grains gathered slowly, as if being poured into the established molds in the hands of the craftsmen, condensing and forming. There are some columns on the street and raising the brick wall.
Beast released an imitation of the origin IUM circuit. But at the same time, there are worship of the Japanese in time. The era of the most prosperous influence of Lucas Eulis.
No, Teddy, don't talk about this first.
This may be the memory of the structure. Can this be regarded as a repaired cultural relic? However, we obviously did not see a structure nearby.
Run first?
Where did they come from?
Now is not when asking questions. Teddy, you have to run faster than me and then drag me. With my running speed. Aren't we finished?
Don't worry. You are running quickly now. Hoda. Don't faint. Let me observe them. Don't look back. I feel that the curator-beloved relief wall is smashed by them. Which is not good for your heart.
What? The task given to me by the curator. Master Pajal most cherished museum. This is really finished. I asked the King of Warmon to forgive me. Her Majesty Lagazulas bless me.
Careful.
Her HT. I hope to greet you again. I want to see the sunrise of tomorrow. I still want to see the sun tomorrow on the big museum.
Enough, who was so nervous, stumbled, that he grabbed her from behind, so that she supported herself with her hand before her face. But the two still heard a loud noise, like the sound of something started.
Yes, you invited drinks last night, and then there was no news. We can worry.
I didn't close my eyes a few days ago. I slept for a while last night.
What's strange about this? Why do you still have a free worker to help people move things?
Hush, I am not helping others. I'm taking it for myself. Answer the statue. It has been a long time.
Isn't it carved out of those metal dolls?
Metal doll. A good sleep quality last night.
Strange, Lord Toya, you are so sharp. How can you miss it? There are strange metal dolls everywhere on the streets. Didn't you run by them? They are dismantling the house, changing to the wall and pillars from the sand. Will they grab the gem? Do you want to check it first? Everyone found out that they lost something last night. From the black cheat necklace hanging around the neck to the astronomical instrument that simulates the Ana and the stars. Everything may be robbed.
Oh. Did your hair accessories have also been robbed?
What about my hair accessories?
I feel strange now. In any case, let them first come to me. With the crowd.
But where did we go? Everyone else fled home to lock the door. At least they could flee back to the hotel. Back to the groundwater channel? No problem. I won't get lost. I will help you find our sleeping bag.
No. Go to the museum.
There are employees like me on day YAG in the museum. How can that kind of place be safe?
It's the most familiar with the movement of commercial and trade routes. The habits of beasts. I heard the sound. Just, Let me see what the metal dolls are about, Tal. I know what's going on. Let run.
Discipline escaping plan.
This is running away. I hope the smoke bomb is also effective for these metalheads.
She turned around, raised her hand, and was ready to open the insurance of the smoke bomb. At that moment, the street became quiet, and noise of mechanical travel disappeared. In the vision of Narar Toya, all metal dolls slowed down. They are no longer chasing, but they are surrounded by Narar Toya, like the tamed beast, watching Narar Toya walking quietly and gently from them. Come back again.
Not a dream, Rochoya? I just stabbed myself and hurt.
Thank you. I won't try it on myself. What exactly is going on? By the way, I saw the shadow of the gods in the river the night before. Maybe the shadow really blessed me. I have fully understood. Go to the museum first.
What about you?
So now I'm going to find someone. The god in the river must be to let me see righteousness and chaos and prove to Aspasia strength.
Those who guard me won't have to fight with your soldiers anymore. The gem structure followed the vow of the two human kings thousands of years ago, and they knew her blood. Debari, you didn't find it wrong. She was indeed a descendant of Harlan Dudo. Don't nightmare. Please go into a dream.
Stage 8 beginning. Narantoya, refusing to follow the traditional path of becoming a nightmare descendant, was trapped in an illusion. But Aspasia drove away the persistent WO, breaking the illusion. Pepe also found herself waking up in a vast desert.
You should bless me. Dance under the sun just rose, and knocked on the scabbard to bless me. Oh, I forgot that you mostly sell the knife. Then knock on the pans, anvils, pens and ink bottles. And our Hama is a place to pave the way with a gem, and I will go to that way now. I know, it will persuade me not to have a daydream. But why can't I make such a lot of money? Why can't I buy the best days for everyone? I want to try.
At my departure ceremony. I must have danced a happy unfeigned myself.
Martoya, I bless you. A caravan I know will go to that brilliant city regularly. If you really come there, go to them.
I know that there are always available connections in you. One more friend.
Martoya, I'm still very worried.
How many times I said, I am not there. You switched to my men. The old guy of arms resent me for this. Saying bad things about me everywhere. The person who jealous of me was together and set me a circle to make its tumbling. I blame me for luck.
However, Martoya, I'm worried about you. What should I do if you want to walk into the desert in this way? If you can't find the water source and you can't encounter the beast?
Each of our money bags is a lot shorter than before. But it is not enough to prepare even the meat and preserved fruits.
Martoya hand touched the money bag on his waist. Then he slowly stared at her eyes, unbuttoned the animal bag, and turned over and trembled. Several sands fell into the boundless desert.
I don't remember I have encountered beggars or tramps. Which people have encountered?
Martoya, I thought about it. I should teach you the secret to looking for water. To this day, there is no need to worry that I will be chosen by a thug leader to be a victim. So I don't have to pinch a unique trick that is related to everyone life and death.
Okay. I like this blessing. Let those gold coins go with flow sand.
Rochoya, I am also very worried.
What are you worried about? I came back from a slave child from the car and snatched the countdown to the countdown of your literacy.
I worry about your black knives.
I would rather worship modern materials and machine forging. What about my knife? What about my dagger? What about the paralyzed poison and spore bottle I reserve?
Martoya, I am worried that you always want to recruit new men. You set off alone. If you encounter the hands that can help you immediately. It is really good. But most of the time, you are saved as you undying day, YAG.
Start alone. Try and city with me.
Therefore, YEG and I went to the rainforest logging field for 2 months to work. and threw all the gold coins saved into a river that is said to flow into a glorious city. I hope you can pick them up when the river water comes up, and hope that your journey will be more smooth and more smooth.
I also like this blessing, although the rainforest is downstream of the river. Gut?
Yes, heaven.
No, Toya, you are ready.
No, when is it? Alone indeed. Alone. Here is nothing except the weapons given by my parents.
The young nightmare walked towards his beast team. Suddenly, the yellow sand was in the middle of the high wall, and the dazzling sun seemed to be erased.
What about my beast? What about my tin?
Toya rubbed his eyes, as if she was caught in the nightmare created. Her vision gradually narrowed, leading only a straight way forward. Thord, prove your courage and go to your world. Let's take a step.
No, we'll die.
Strange enough, the installation down here is motionless. Does anyone fall there? Hello, can you hear it? Persevere. It'll come here. Step aside.
What did you say? I just lie on the ground like this, with a huge follow-up beast on my head with my paws.
I think it was a beast. Before I had time to catch it, it disappeared into the dust.
No wonder I feel a little painful in my dream. There is a voice whine to talk to me. How did you drive away the beast? I shouted with it in my dream for a long time and didn't convince it for a long time.
Considering that the situation is urgent, I use violet means.
What didn't I think? Sometimes a knife is easy to use. I knew you were a reliable man. Thank you. I was wrong.
Let go quickly. These metal dolls may move again at any time, which is not safe here.
The gods in the river clearly gave me the opportunity to show myself. Why did I fall asleep on the street? Which was very lively. When I was ready to come to Nintama. If my previous man really supported me so much, how good would it be?
After you left the hotel, I talked with Ayiji Ayani for a while.
But anyway, dreams always wake up. Why not dream the best?
Maybe we all have a lot of things that the other party does not know. I'm glad to know that you were fine.
Aspasia reached out to Toya.
Wait. Run.
Name Toya. The museum is fundamental. Lily. Not safe.
Terra H2 once witnessed.
Taylor, did you speak just now? I have a little tinnitus.
I don't. And I heard it too.
Well, will these cultural relics speak? Wow. Why don't they say before?
Eternal Guardian, please answer. Please answer. Please answer.
What should answer?
He taught the foreigners of the boat to walk from here, and he used the golden-headed army to protect the curiosity of visitors. The sweetness and bitterness in his cup were squeezed from the guest's pocket, and the sand under his feet buried the bones and caramels that were distant northwest. Remind me, a name he left in the world.
I don't think they can talk about talking. At least not to communicate. They just propose a puzzle. Just like you enter a password when you open an insurance library.
Yes, but how can there be such a complicated riddle?
I count down. 3 minutes.
That's it. Now we turned it into a timing bomb.
Wait, Dana. Calm down. Can you still contact the museum employees?
What? What wrong?
I think this is a mystery about history. I remember. Aren't you the most like the Earth tour? Where is the book?
Teddy, please help me turn it to 251.
Give.
You are asking by a page. He agreed to explore the business of Balvarian, a Balvarian, and then introduce Balvarian sugarcane and coffee beans. It is sand beasts. In the 6th century, there was a trend of hunting sand beasts in northern Salgan. In the past, the exorcism decoration made of a string of sandy beast heads has always been considered to be a natural worship. You have always known that you have witnessed history that the cause of hunting sand beasts is a small amount of sandy beasts caused by high concentration activity origin, IUM environments, right? Well, The next structure? The next question. Please.
It was a puzzle in archaeology. A resident of a settlement of ancient settlements 1,000 years ago was collectively executed. But the discovered torture used modern alloy materials. But the answer is written here. A race that has been seen by almost no one. Tidra has inherited unique smelting and forging techniques since ancient times.
Okay? The next question.
As the pages flipped, a riddle of the assembly was correctly answered, and their restlessness gradually subsided. The stop structure is around Daynath, like a silent listener. Daynath remembered that before he came to the stage to give a lecture, Kitty himself regarded the audience as the cultural relics in the museum, so that he would not be nervous. As long as you insist on talking about what you feel right, Daynath.
Well, this is a taboo saying. But Zarkezi did set foot in Salg. We still don't know how many historical footsteps in the ancient curse.
By the way, Tidra, this is also the inspiration you give me.
Well, curse?
No, I just don't understand. The history of the written records of Salguan can be traced back to a wild prehistoric era in other countries. What can you choose to see if you choose to leave Salg for studying? That why I opened the tour of the earth? I see that in a limited life. We have too many misunderstandings and prejudice against this earth. The greatest courage we can have is to exhaust the short-lived life and ask for infinite time.
Yeah. We are not eternal guardians. And we can't experience everything. Speaking of which, if you have such an opportunity, do you imagine that Zaber is like a long-lasting history and witness to longer-term history?
In fact, I have been thinking that these preparations are certified by historical QA. Are we qualified to control them? So, which sentence triggers their certification model? What kind of mood did that person? Choose the keep ass word as Hera HT.
So dark. Where is this? In the monster belly? The sound of the wind. Lake in the desert.
In the golden desert, a green lake is lying in the center. Breeze gently moved the palm trees on the shore, and the leaves that were heard by Pepe only heard the sound. A boy dived into the water half-body. After a while, he suddenly sat up and clenched a beautiful golden scale in his hand. He was holding the scales and carefully walked towards Pepe.
Jet, please know it.
Sister, do I got?
Who is your sister? Ew, what are you talking about?
His father said that he intends to bury his mother here and bury it in her hometown. He will also build a beautiful grave for her, with beautiful pools and lotus flowers. I will leave this golden scales in that pool, and it will accompany my mother for me.
Does this have to do with me? Don't call my sister anymore. My brother doesn't grow like this.
His conquest is still going to continue, and he will not stop because of his mother's departure. He asked us whether he was going to stay here or followed him to move east.
Kid, what are you talking about? I don't understand at all.
I want to arrive in the east with my father to see and conquer more farther land. Go with me, sister. When your grass paper rolls and core grass bends, it will encounter a lot of things worthy of description. It will achieve a great cause like my father. I will be the protagonist in your pen. Go with me, sister.
Well, tolerate me. I decline. I will follow your father. Zaber.
Pepe turned back and saw a girl holding a white lotus, and the lotus gold on her forehead shone in the sun. This forehead made the girl familiar. He touched her forehead gently. At that moment, the sun made her feel dazzling.
Stage 9 beginning. Zaber took Pepe to the treasure's location and explained his reasons for guarding it. Although Pepe understood Zubari's plight, she still decided to fight him for the city's safety. Narantoy and Despasia also argued over who should undertake the most dangerous step of the plan.
Welcome here, Pepe.
Is this the treasure house left by Shaw? And the museum seems to,
Your perception is correct. When my memory has not recovered, I feel that some places in the city seem to have known each other. In the process of establishing a city, I think they may refer to the construction style of the mausoleum.
What is the hell here?
The oil lamps on the wall ignited, and the light walked between the smooth walls and the pillars like a mirror surface, and the dim lobby became bright. For a while, countless shadows that were like ghosts appeared in the hall. They were standing.
It turned out that the treasure's hidden in the treasure house of Sa. Himself. Is he so narcissistic?
Of course not. These images were kept here for my sister. Since my father leaves, my sister has always missed him. Thousands of years ago, the historians have preserved the father words and deeds by discovered ancient technology.
I also found similar items in the Yasuran region, in the Crystal Cave. It showed me a Shahi image.
It was when I left. I thought that there would be a descendant of the nightmare to find the image, and then found it along the clue.
You hide it too secretly. Others must not find it.
Secret. I hosted a huge temple outside the outside.
It seems that it failed to resist the erosion of time. When I arrived, it was already a ruined ruins.
But it still guides you to come here and wake me up. This is exactly the wonderful place of time. Some arrangements that seemed to be sent to the field at the time would also have a wonderful coincidence, because of a series of yin and yang errors.
It turns out that there is a saw appearance like picking the mast. I've not only seen such images in Al's Howland. When I was a kid, my brother and I cut in sound, and went into a secret room with a coffin and the deceased. Although there is a tutoring teaching unknowing that he will be exposed to these sooner or later. Letting a child is too reluctant to face these alone. He told me that this coffin was just a history that was buried in the sand. When a person later excavated it, he would set up a bridge that spans time. Let us cross the long history and know each other.
I remember this sentence. At that time, my mother died, and my sister leaned on the coffin to shed tears. This was what father squatted down to comfort her. I still remember that after my sister became a historian, my father often told her what to pay attention to.
Pay attention to the back of those history of making heroes. This is what the image left in that image. I kept remembering.
Looking at Lugos, our guru's image, Peppy suddenly felt a little absurd. Along the way, she had imagined what exactly was preserved in Shot Treasure House. But at this moment, she suddenly realized that her so-called persistence and pursuit was from one virtual shadow to another. She seized the heavy hammer in her hand, and tried to hold back the impulse to wield it to dispel the shadow in front of her. What made her feel even more? Why isn't her so-called responsibility and inheritance of her family?
Miss Medjedi KT, I contacted other employees according to the yellow page.
Are there any people who are not afraid of death and are willing to come to help?
But most people answered very complicated.
Thank you. Can you find a few bottles of water for Miss? And,
Okay, Medjedi KT?
like Jaya and Naya. A few people who do not know about it. After all, there are still a few, enough. We may only have 2 hours now. In fact, running away from the city now is the best way.
Sorry, cheated. I am comparing the urban surveying and mapping records. I can't figure out so much, but you should know the reason why you stay here.
Responsibilities. But what about those 2 tourists? They have nothing to do with Baber resurrection. They have nothing to do with this city. Now we let them enter the groundwater channel. Do the most dangerous exploration work. And find a way to block the filled sand.
So, I can only do my best, so that their courage will not be wasted.
Why squeeze your ears for you?
Thank you, cheated.
Why, you see, this construction log refers to the abnormal geological structure.
Okay, I immediately recorded it. Today, you said, my research on Mr. Zubair has not been published in the end. Before we died, we had no chance to explorate the underground structure of the city. I couldn't leave my own name. So I died like this. What let my father disappoint?
It all blamed Peppy. All of which are caused by a respectful daughter of Tathan. Mr. Asong.
Sorry, the museum is now in an emergency, and there is no time to take over you, the respectable supervisor.
Please don't use respect. I am no longer a regulator. I am just a craftsman who has gained the identity of the liberal people and was forgiven.
But now the museum cannot guarantee the safety of anyone. The most sincere suggestion we can give is to leave the city center as soon as possible with all means.
After everything appeared, I accompanied Mr. Zubair to stand in front of the slowly flowing Huangsha for a while.
Did you see Mr. Zubair?
I watched him trying to repair another ceramic sculpture with spells. But finally stopped and said to me, "Our responsibilities are like this." I understand. Responsibilities are you and I insist to the end. Never ask why. even if the result is not as expected. Excuse me. What can I do in order to keep the city from being destroyed?
What? Soon you will believe that you should listen to my arrangements and stay in the museum to protect others.
Turn from here to the left. We will go back to the road we just walked.
I've turned around in the underground waterway for so many days. Why haven't I encountered such a ghostly hidden wall? Let's talk about it first. When I led my men in the past.
I don't think this is your ability. Perhaps the loss of people is the original role of these twists and turns. When the museum to deputy curators turned around for the surveying and mapping materials of the years, I heard a few discussions. They seem to think that the old underground waterway we live in is just a small part of the city underground structure. Perhaps through historical data, they can infer the deeper path. They have been assisting archaeologists to find clues recently, and those clues are likely to be the architectural sites called treasure house in ancient books, if the city is really hidden in the depths of the city.
Is there a treasure house?
Nothing. When I didn't say it. You don't seem to be afraid.
Isn't our task to find the area where the sand leak? Isn't close the gate of that section?
But we are likely to be unable to find it.
Well, however, when we are underground, we will first see the sun coming up. Maybe we have to use the communication to remind the people in the museum to run quickly. But we can't run away. You must stand at the forefront at this time. Toya. Can you hear it? We have some clues. If you pay attention to the sound of the surroundings, you should be able to find Lao Clockwork Feather Beast, some blue, beast-looking machinery. We speculate that there may be some positions that may have deep structures. If you can help the hair beasts open the gap on the wall, these feathers can fly to collect information. After mastering enough information, we should be able to find the exact position of Huangsha influx. The Barbie sea beasts cannot bear the work of closing the organ and filling the cracks. Sorry, you may have to be involved in danger in person.
I think you must notice in the memory I show you to you. Your forehead is exactly the same as my sister's head.
This forehead is passed down from generation to generation. I used to be puzzled before. My family persisted in the duty of narrating the king of the king and asked my father that my father did not know where to start. Only said that the original answer was so simple, but it was derived from a child's thoughts on his father.
My sister has always believed that my father would come back after all. But unfortunately, until she died, she didn't wait. And I didn't have time to see her last. After my sister died, only my father's shadow accompanied me to continue. Happy. Let go of the obsession of the city of gold. I know how to seal consciousness into the gem, and know how to create an immortal body. You will have an eternal life to experience, discover, and describe.
I can accompany you for your sister. I also have a younger brother. He is a historian in the city of Golden.
It is a pity that it is not a good position. They know that too many things that cannot be presented on paper. In order to let the historian description of history in accordance with his mind, my stupid wing forcibly asked her sister to send one of her twin sons to the palace.
After thousands of years, such coercion became glory. The beast said that all historical officials would be cut off the tongue.
I don't know how the current king of 11 acts, but this is indeed an effective way of confidentiality.
I have to go to the city of gold to find him.
Just leave, Peppy.
No, I can't leave yet. I can't give up in this city. I can't let the structure continue to mess in the city. Let it go. Just like what you said, those most precious treasures have not been defiled.
No, Peppy. Even if I want to stop, I can't stop. Human life will experience large and small choices. They are embedded with each other, and they portray the unique circuit for everyone in the infinite branch path. My vow to my father, the vow of my sister, has been carved into a circuit, and it will always stay on these gems. I can never violate it. There is no trace.
How do I stop the pretending body?
I have told you the answer. Happy. Next. You have to rely on your own efforts. Like the army who came to invade at the time, do their best to catch me.
In fact, after chatting with Iwaiji Oyani that day, I always felt that something should tell you.
I hope our time is enough. What do they say?
The blue clockwork feathers hovered on the top of the two, urging them to cut their stones in front of them. Aspasia is very fortunate that everything is so smooth. Before entering that possible path, I only have one thing to do.
I learned the reason why you long for wealth. You feel that you owe a debt in the past.
Oh, where did you say? We escaped. Or all the treasures were given by me.
After you leave, I heard a lot of stories from Ayag and Dayani. When they went to the logging farm, they always used bird first to damage the saw blades, and help people to see the store to remember the ledger. While you are not there, someone raised his knife and killed his last beast. Then his cooking town opened a snack bar in the bazaar, and the customer was endless every day. Someone wrote the experience of being a thief and serialized in the tabloid. It is widely praised. It is said that it has now been compiled to you through the thousands of years and grab a throne of Shah. Most people have houses and do not migrate with the season. They have time to make up the roof before the rainy season to make it not leak. Your men are still not bad now.
I certainly know this.
I respect you, but I think you don't owe them. Just like you don't need to save a city just to save two people. You should escape, then go back and see. Then, let go of your burden, your responsibility. Go forward.
A rumbling sound of the boulder slowly interrupted Aspasia. A movement of the two of them seemed to touch the ancient maze, and the stone brick with mottled relief retreated into the wall of the river. 80 seconds later, they heard the sound of the stone fall. Then, the whole wall began to collapse. But as Anath said, it was not Yellowson outside the wall. The empty darkness shows that they are in the inside of a large building. There is no way in front of them. The sound of Leusen came from the depths clearly, as if under the abyss is the river flowing in the rich period. There's a river that goes in. At that moment, they threw the iron pick in their hands at the same time and pulled out their weapons. Sand-dust raised. The two took less than 10 steps.
What are you doing?
Stop you from jumping down.
I wanted to say before. I thought you were more reliable than those two guys. I didn't expect you to be a man who needed me to save.
I said, you don't have to take such a responsibility.
You misunderstand me. I just want to see it myself. I'm more suitable than anyone to do this. That all? Just like that my man of a good life. No way. I am so greedy. But I like to say that this is what I chose. Well, since you are a well-trained combatant. So now I want to move really. You cannot be angry.
I only thank you for your sincerity. Iratoya. Nah, I don't have to be afraid to start a real duel with you. I couldn't believe my heart, because I followed my family vows, related to blood and violence, and regarding war as the most fair trample. But now I have seen a firm person. Perhaps the beliefs of the Salgan people are also desirable. I compose a choice I made. So from now on, why don't you wait for me to finish?
Her vision suddenly became dark. The black knife fan passed by the eyes, and the moment when the eyes closed and opened, the only light in the underground waterway was completely swallowed. She really remembers that Martoya has two black knives with an organ that cannot be pulled out directly from the sheath. But at that moment, she just remembered that there was a god's cure and take all the nightmare in history because they had swallowed the sun at noon regardless of the day and night. She rushed to the position of the other party with memory, and it was empty.
Using the obstacle of the sand. A little bit of the illusion of origin IUM craftsmanship. Who said that only the way to win or lose? Just jump first.
Surrounded by night and delusion, Martoya took a step back.
Wait, Martoya, this is not a fair showdown.
Look, you took another silver medal. Are you serious? As you guide me. You were so fast.
I still gave up well early in the morning. Peppy, I told you that how to try can only be useless. Even if you wave the heavy hammer again, you can't touch me.
Who do you look down on?
Are you going to break the support point of this hall to reduce the scope of my activities? That not a good way.
During the talk, the fringe was flowing, and the broken stone pillars and the broken ground were recovered as before. Peppy wore a false shadow one after another, looking for Zubair. However, Egwene often captured the corner of his robe. The next second he hid in many imaginary shadows, and it was difficult to find.
You need to concentrate. Peppy.
Do you know? Before I was 14 years old, Doc once judged that I was a weak child. I held and lifted for life.
But you look thin now. But you can wield it.
In order to go deep into the desert and drain forests and find those lost monuments for archaeology, I asked the famous Lizzie of Tasagan to train me. At the age of 17, I could cross the vast desert alone and fight against dozens of sand bandits.
Peppy, it is not enough to rely on these.
No, I don't want to show your ability for you. I just want to tell you that since I was young, as long as I'm determined to do it, I have nothing to do. Those goals are difficult, no matter how hard. As long as I want, I will definitely reach.
No, Peppy. The reason why you have such an illusion is just because you have lived for 22 years. At that time, I played under my father, and countless enemies who came up were cut by me under the sword. Hearing their wailing, how much confidence made me. I thought there was nothing in the world that could not be obtained in the world, and nothing could be done, as everyone knows. The biggest enemy in my life is the long time.
Dinying passed through, and before he turned his head, Peppy felt the pain from his ankle. That cane is far heavier than expected.
You have to be faster, Peppy. Killing everyone who violated his father's mausoleum was written on my gym circuit. Your constant attack has made it feel angry. It began to urge me to end all of this earlier.
You shouldn't play this game with me.
This battle is not a game, Peppy.
No.
Oh, I close my eyes.
It was dark in front of me, and Peppy knew that his eyes were not keen enough, and it would only be dragging. When I was young, I played and found in the garden. No matter how hard, I called and catch the agile younger brother. The kid was like a scales, until one day, she closed her eyes by accident and found that her brother's footsteps on the slate were so clear. Sister, I'm hiding. You can come to me. That kid is behind me. Why can't you come? As long as I look back, it is fast enough. What do you do with your eyes? Do you want to admit defeat? I can catch him. Closing her eyes, Peppy tried her best to wave the hammer in front of her. Unexpectedly, he heard the loud cracks.
Stage 9 end. After winning the battle, Pepe stopped the constructs from further destroying the city. But the gem insides of her shattered. Narantoya's dream of wealth also poured into the chasm beneath the city.
Opening his eyes, Peppy saw that the bear fork is in front of his eyes. As long as you extend a little further, it can completely break your neck. And his hammer was against the bare chest, and the gem of his chest spread a slender crack.
When I was a kid, I have been lost to my sister, and I never think that I will lose it to you now.
The gem in your chest.
I think there should be no possibility of repair this time.
If the gem is completely broken, what will you do?
We'll get eternal tranquility.
You will die.
Yes, I will die. Peppy, see if I am your ancestor. Can you help me?
Is it?
Can you send me into the center of that gem?
Can it be able to go in? I thought it was a huge decoration.
No. There are some things that belong to me there. There are countless time here, because of their existence. My guardianship is not completely for others. At least, sometime, they belong to me.
Help you up?
Beware, Peppy. This body is heavy, but fortunately, I will get rid of it right away. Yes, go under it.
Holding the bear, Peppy came to the middle of the hall, the bottom of the giant Tribscoan gem. For a moment, the light changes. The virtual shadow moves, and the huge gemstones are like gravity, gathered all the light indoor light at the sharp corner at the bottom. Peppy should be dazzling, but at the moment of light surrounded, she felt like wrapped in warm water. I saw, young nightmare. This is your own dream. Look forward.
Oh. Huh? Wait. Where am I? Aspasia.
You sat up from a dark beast statue. The sound of water flowing down in the empty hall. A huge crystal hangs upside down on the building dome. With its flashing light, there are many portraits like pouring in the water in the hall.
Oh. Could it be said that the people in this city see these shadows all year after year?
A figure stopped in front of her. Martoya seems to be able to recognize the other person's red hair, and can also see that the other party is looking at himself on the ground. After a while, a phantom turned around and walked into the closed door at the end of the hall.
Oh. I still feel that you may be the person I know. After all. All of them rush back on my own way. What do you say in that sentence? I hope they will be picked up when the river is rising. You are the shadow that will appear when you rise up. Okay, now I need to find a crack.
The floor trembling slightly, and the sound of the water flowed fell more and more. Martoya stepped across the water in the hall and ran towards the figure of the armor. The inside of the gate is not another maze, nor the flowing yellow sand, Through the door seam, she glanced at the gold and silver treasures accumulated in the mountains, shining with an indelible glorious light for thousands of years, but she didn't even have time to exclaim. It was a huge crack on the floor, and the underground structure of the entire city seemed to start to shake. The sound of high-speed sliding sands is clearly clear. At her feet, at the bottom of the city, the sand formed a huge vortex.
No. I want to block. I never thought that there was such a wonderful scene in the middle of a huge gem.
Did you see the middle table in the middle? It is a bit difficult to distinguish, but it is indeed in the center.
I can't see this step at all.
Be careful. It still has 3 levels of steps.
I touched the table. There was a gemstone on it. What do I do next?
Can you pick up the gem on the stage and put it in my body?
There's a water coming in.
The structure of the treasure house has been destroyed by Yusha, and it is estimated that the river water is irrigated.
It will soon be drowned here.
Let the river completely wash it here. Put the gem into my chest.
What does the last gem represent?
Emotion is my emotion. It is too difficult to resist this long time alone. I have to cut off most of the emotions in order to persist.
Your gem has been broken, even if it is installed.
I know, but I just want to leave as a complete mankind.
You have always been humans.
Oh, thank you. By the way, it about the City of Gold. I always want to tell you.
Well,
Peppy, let go. Let me go.
The water pouring in was slowly without a bare mouth and nose. Under the impact of the water flow, the gem in his chest turned into debris and was washed away. His chest became more empty, but his eyes were satisfied. He closed his eyes and smiled, ducked himself into the water. Peppy held his shoulders and felt the weight of his body. Soon, Peppy found that this is not a buoyancy effect. She saw the golden liquid flowing slowly from her fingers, which was the body that Zubair melted in the water. She couldn't help but want to see Zubair. That forced her, but let Zubair's shoulders completely dispel. Soon, there was only Peppy left in the water, watching the golden water flowing with white lotus flowers and slowly flowing to the distance.
I wish you to bless his soul.
The water flows down. Unrar remembered that when he was very young. He moved out of the luggage kettle and tried to catch a whole rain. Later, she knew that there were routes in the sky, and people had gains and losses. Her tribe will drive the beast to chase the weather, and she can install so much water in the bag, and there is no need to install it. The structure of the building under her feet was crumbling. On the other side of the solid treasure house door, the gold coins just made the crispy collision in her dream as the building trembled.
I really hope that the 2 museum kittens know that a hold in a city is definitely not that emergency materials can be made up.
Martoya remembered that he had had such a dream. If she really has a golden-plated iron block or a short check that she is signed by the King Chief, the first thing she wants to do is to dance on the gold. In this way, all the treasures will be fascinated by her and will never leave her.
Who attends?
Martoya retreated for a long time and picked up a statue of a black beast. Then she rushed to the seemingly indestructible door.
Open me.
The door opened slowly in her roar, and she saw the gap through gaps through gaps. The building has been skewed, and Jinshin has collapsed. Countless gold and silver jewelry poured out from the treasure trove. When they hit the cracks on the floor, the flow of water pouring above stirs gold and sand, and the walls of the building are gradually skewed under pressure, and the huge wealth has become a bright waterfall. The nightmare throwing the blade agile and climbing the rope tied to it. Like an elegant dancer, she switched back and forth in the air, looking at the golden mountains that dumped down. She laughed.
Although I was a bit surprised. But I know. I came to the City of Glory. I made a lot of money. No, from ancient times to the present. How many people in Saogyeon can make the gold coins freely like a waterfall? I will remember this gold and sandy sea. What I want. I'm willing to serve more. On that day, it would be a sail on sandy sea to remember me. I chose it all by myself.
The golden light gradually dimmed, and the gold and silver jewelry flowing to the vortex gradually dried up. The surging sand grain slowly calmed down. The treasure sank into the sand sea blocked the cracks of the dungeon and supported the quicksand.
Seldom rough now? Why didn't I stay for myself?
Goodbye, Debare. By the way, the guardian died, and the treasure house certainly collapsed. How did I get in? You swim. How should I swim here? The water squeezed the chest and had no eyes. Still slowly dragging her deep into the water flowing slowly, she started to look at Venus, and someone grabbed her hand. Luck really stood on my side. I finally got a baby.
Did you stop or stop?
Yes, The acting curator. Mister, the faucet is no longer on the sand.
Although it does not flow water.
That may be just blah.
Don't worry. Gemstones no longer move. Origin IUM circuit does not show any signs of energy. It may not wake up again.
Have you secretly brought your little pet around you?
I believe Peppy.
Well, all we can do have finished.
At present, the chaos in the city has indeed eased, but no one dares to determine that these abnormalities have so far.
Yeah, everyone's hearts are still hanging. Thank you, your friend. I promise that you will write her and Peppy deeds into the report, so that they will be famous for their brilliant city and are written into local history.
A famous city is good, but it is best to stay in history books. Is it best to wait for me to die?
Mertoya?
Hey, hold the sandal and help this girl. Who knows traveling out? She would have to explain it inside, like along the way upstream. Your face is so bad,
Peppy's sight moved to the pool around me. Verite, I wish you to bless his soul. Let the time start flowing again. Let go forward.
Oops, I almost drowned. And my face was green and her lips were purple. Let me see my results. Did the sand on the street disappear? Did the canal also become clean? Is it now? No. How can you make the face? Wash it with some water. A liver.
What is the reliable man in Current heart?
See, I just say Toya is okay. How can she throw us here?
You sit down. The fountain is not firm, and the two of us will definitely fall together. So now I should stand up? It may be a person who is not afraid of anything like herself.
Oh, Chidi, you are here too. The sun is just right today.